West Side is not winning.
No, the best thing is yeah, make well known what's at stake. Yeah. Ted was here last year, that's where I got this.
Like I said, the only reason he's not here today is because he's doing the charity.
That's a very sign. It's a very good sign.
Yeah, I saw that last night on
Let him know. That's he really represents people. Are they serving us then? You sit down and they see that we need signing. We have to go let it see.
Perfect.
Oh, we hear no say.
We never know what's happening. That's what it is. Yeah. And when they say, they start speculating, well, this may happen. I said, yeah, I know.
Well, apparently she's resigning January 5th. And part of it is that I think she's hurt that Trump really told her such a nasty thing about her. Well, not as nasty things, but how do you the thing is, yeah. But he'll let if you're trying to, if you're
Can I get anyone something to drink other than coffee? A tea? Sure. Do you have a preference? Decaf? Okay, I can find you something.
right? I don't know. I think he's trying to get home. And you know, well, the price was really short. They didn't get it, so that was the difference between Mondami and Conference, right? I didn't see it, but I heard all about it. Talking about how, and I saw some clips, and he was very friendly towards Mondami. You know, Mondami was saying what he did. But he's a good mayor. You know, he's like, he didn't have no police. Yeah, he is. Talk anytime live. And that event was right before the bill had been already passed. Right. Pretty much, yeah. So, Darlene,
We're short now. Trust me, it's short.
so Darlene, when are you going to run for office?
That's it. No, working on getting this guy elected.
Where is your district?
In Naperville. Yeah, this is 1600.
Yeah, we met.
Yeah. So I'm basically what I'm doing now is trying to get others elected.
Get others elected.
Get others elected.
Because
The pot is really hot.
you're talking about you're believing
One of those
someone
coffees
else.
is low.
Harder to talk about
Okay, I'll go refill.
to sell yourself than it is to sell someone else. I always find that it's easier to ask people for money about something else. You know, I never have a problem with asking for money because you're always in a good cause. You know, what I believe is good. I don't think I could ever run for office. I could never talk about it.
It is hard asking for money. I'm not
Money
gonna lie.
getting to people that you
And my
believe in.
husband's very easy to sell. Because usually it's always about public safety. You know, and that's what is needed in the state of Illinois, for sure. But you have to say, hey, give me money, and then you don't need it. Yeah.
You know, but even a little bit helps. Everybody gives a little bit.
It looks like they put some more potatoes on it. I'm a potato fan.
Mostly, there was one there that I didn't ask for. But not in the primary. In general, they're open money. In the primaries, they're not getting it. I mean, they have their favorites, but they're not getting it. So. I'm real upset in the district that I was 2 years ago. They did it so rational. I can't stand him. He hasn't. They gerrymandered. Oh. He has not come out to where I live to talk to any of us. I have asked the mayor. The mayor just gave up and said, well, yeah, because it's all Democrats. I'm furious. When I was in line with we went to the library because they said he was going to be their budget representative. I'm really serious. These college graduates and their three, pardon?
They're scared about what?
Our nation. These young men that they can't spell, they don't know how to talk to you. And I mean, they really don't know how to spell. My last name is Montgomery. But when you can't spell my first name, my street number, my street address, I mean, I'm scared.
How about tell time on a clock?
That too.
Wow. Rosemary, where do you live?
This point,
Me too. And they changed my district and put me into some Schaumburg guy with a pro death person.
All right,
and I don't know, I'm beside myself.
I have Bill Foster as my congressman. So. And they've been trying to seat him for years, and it's been almost virtually impossible. By the way, they gerrymandered us.
I know. Chicagoland. I just I mean, Glenview goes from north. He goes from.
yeah, there's this group called Chicago Fifth Red.
I've been
They're
seeing
kind of cool.
Glenview, Kirk to Glenview.
Yeah, they're trying to save.
So how did you
I used to have it, and then we were gerrymandered.
Well,
Well, that too, but it doesn't matter. We have no choice.
bad customer service.
Sir, could we have more coffee? There's none over there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll get you more coffee.
Bad customer service. The Democrat Party is terrible for business people who aspire to be a billionaire and millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. Why? Why am I going to? If the more money I make, the more money I can help my community without relying on a grant, while relying on government money when there's taxpayers that we need healing. We need healing. We can't keep dependent on the government when the government is draining the very same people who are investing in the government. So,
Making you a slave to the government.
slave to the government and talk about millionaires and billionaires when they are the millionaires and billionaires. They don't care about nobody. They don't care about themselves. If they care about themselves, they would at least apologize by now.
They better make people aware of that. People are waking up, but hopefully it's in time.
It's a good foil for an election. Okay.
Well, they have no choice but to wake up. They have no choice.
They have to vote that way.
Yeah, but what we lacked in our community is civics.
Yes.
I didn't have civics growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't have civics, but I had a mom who was an entrepreneur, a struggling entrepreneur.
But you know what? It begins with education.
College education.
Yeah,
My college educated one
They
still couldn't.
changed the curriculum of the high schools, and I was following it from a teacher.
And no child left behind.
Biden got in. They had this caucus that put together a curriculum that was critical race theory, and they replaced all the reading, writing, and arithmetic statutes, and they put in their own agenda, having the kids think about, well, solve this problem with government, and then they tell you how to solve it. So it was a caucus, and then they voted in. But people don't know.
Well, what's the name? You know, I'm 40. Well, I'll be 40 in January.
You're an Aquarius.
Well, I'm humanitarian, for real.
My son's an Aquarius.
And the last 20 years, politics has been weird. Starting with Bush Jr. That No Child Left Behind. Kids need to be left behind. Because I'm dealing with people that are my age, but their brain is probably second grade, third grade, fourth grade, because they kept passing them. So you're dealing with people out here that brains are not developed. So that's why they keep voting the way that they vote. No one has taught them anything.
I've been hearing that state of Texas, wait until you hear who's up before Mississippi,
And I'm reading.
Texas, and Florida. I'm reading it in math. I've had DEI up here. 2 and 2 is 4. It is not 5. Physically so. You know, and when those states are outperforming us, we're in trouble.
Exactly. The uneducated.
Well, the reason they want to do that is to provide the upper class and the lower class, and not, to separate the two.
Exactly.
Have you ever heard of the SLANT program? SLANTI. 20% of the people in the world are dyslexic. Right?
Slant program.
Slant. So you can't even, you have that problem going on. People who have a disability like dyslexia are more likely to be suicidal because everyone's always told them they're stupid because they can't read or write. And then you have people who can't read or write. Because so I don't remember me. My name is Cindy. My name is James. I'm running for governor. And they're starting to use that program in the jail because they're finding they're going to teach the inmates like how to teach it so that they can continue and branch it out, because so many people who end up in crime are dyslexic because they can't read or write.
Right.
So it's kind of cool.
Y'all gotta look up the SLANT program. SLANT. Yeah.
What did your mom do? What was her business?
My mother had a lot of businesses she was trying to get going. One of my favorite businesses, my mother had 2 favorite businesses I liked. It was called, one of her businesses was called Better Environment. And Better Environment Incorporated, at the time, we still had payphones. And because of all the germs that was on the phone, she made this phone cap. And a phone cap so the germs and stuff won't get on you while you're making a public phone call.
Oh, really?
She was pushing that when I was young. And then she had a tea kiosk in DC in the Union Station called Cup of Tea. She was selling all type of teas, oolong, all that stuff. My mother Aquarius too. So we're way before our time. We like, if people go back and look at my stuff I was talking about in late 2022 and 23, before Chicago Fifth Red, before I met Danielle, I was talking about everything that's happening now. From a video with me saying, yes, take Section 8, take food stamps, take everything out of our community. We can do it ourselves. We can do it ourselves. We can do it ourselves. And Danielle said I need to start bringing those back up. Like when I talked about yesterday, NBC never catches us down at City Hall. But this particular time, NBC caught, it was migrant crisis, but caught me saying on there, you know, it got to flip red. The state got to flip red. I said because your money is never going to stop. They're going to keep coming. The migrants are going to keep coming. The money's never going to stop. I was like, never going to stop. I was like, this is a scam. This is a Ponzi scheme. This is a Ponzi scheme. And they took that clip. So that's when I knew, like, y'all know I'm not dumb, but y'all just are getting paid to not put it up there. But y'all know that this is, I watched them launder $1 billion from the day that Brandon Johnson got in office until April 19th, 2024. They were at $1 billion that they already spent on the migrant crisis. And how I know is because I'm down there fighting for them. Asking them to settle my family's case that's full of fraud. The city knocked down my family's building. You guys knocked down my family's building. We have all the evidence, every piece of evidence, including a voicemail from the Chicago Law Department that says that y'all were in the wrong. Not only is that you committed insurance fraud, my mother put a claim in with the city that's self-insured. So all that I'm watching, so while I'm being meetings just looking at all this money being laundered. I'm like, I said, this is crazy. They paying $725,000 a day on shelters. My mother lived in Streeterville at the time, the inner Chicago. Right there at the heart of the Magnificent Mile, you have a legal immigrant shelter. It was right on Ohio and Michigan. It was called the inner Chicago. It was a full-blown shelter right in Streeterville. The inner Chicago. Modelo bottles everywhere, music playing. My mother was living at 600 North Lake Shore. When I say every other week, the people were moving. People were selling their condos for $500,000 less. One of the Bears coach, I forgot his name. He sold his condo for $1 million less just to get up out of there. I was watching all of this, and I'm like, how y'all don't have nothing?
They have to bring in immigrants. They have to do it. Because people are leaving. People who have even if they don't have the means, they're trying to figure out how the hell to get out of there.
Right.
You know? The schools don't have any kids in them. And they don't have any kids in them. If you listen.
Yeah. Corliss got like 9 kids in a freshman class.
Here's the thing, and he doesn't care. You want to know why? He even said, Pritzker, you want to leave? He wants to replace people who are going to
They're bringing the people in so that they can keep their representation.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
You gotta go
They
jail.
keep the people in power. And until the people who are voting there get that, then it's not going to change.
Oh, it's gonna change.
I hope so.
It's gonna change. Because the military's coming. The military is coming. Danielle went to the White House on the day before she testified. They gave us a direct number to directly call Donald Trump. The military has to come. I'm going to write out the reason why. I'm going to bring out, I'm going to count down, I'm going to break down. I'm about to be the best accountant that America ever had. I'm about to show where every dollar came from.
That he's spending for our tax dollars to fight her.
Yeah.
And anytime something happens, you get a legal, suit, a lawsuit. Pritzker ought to have to be paid.
And Pritzker, I don't know, he has no self-respect. Because he stands
Well, he's a loser.
and he says, I'm going to tax the multi-billionaires. Well, you're one, you idiot. And how many toilets did you have pulled out of that house?
That's because, see, Pritzker been a loser all his life, probably. And he was always rich and come from a rich family, but he's always been a loser. And because he's always been a loser, you're dealing with these people who have power now that have always been losers.
Well, the problem was he was bullied as a child.
Oh.
He was a chubby little child. He used to pick his nose. They used to call him Booger Boy.
Oh.
And so, with all that bullying going on, what happened is he became the bullier.
Yeah.
And so now he's got this money and power. And so what is he doing? He's bullying. I can't tell you how many times we'd say people who would support us as sheriff. We go, hey, can you come, give us money or whatever? They're like, we can't. We're afraid of their unions, that type of thing. The mayor of Harwood Heights. Hey, we love you. Everything's great. Would you endorse us? I can't. I'm afraid of Pritzker. And it's going to be a tough run no matter what we do.
I just got started. That's why the feds got to come. Right now, they're investigating him. Yesterday, they just said that. The situation with CTU, they got until December 8th to show them audits. It's about to, it's the calm before the storm. Nobody's going to,
We can't get it done. Just remember, my husband will have arrest warrants. When he wins the governor's office, he has the arrest warrants for 2 years. He's going to go after everybody who's stealing money.
But you know what that's going to do? It's going to start more lawsuits against that. So it's just going to waste more money of ours. More money.
They all say that we're in the second revolutionary war. It's starting in Illinois. It's starting in Illinois.
nobody needs, when I say nobody don't need to pay no property taxes for at least 20 years. And for real talk. Huh? Yeah, it has to, and then the little taxes that they're doing now, the dumb taxes, we'll take them until we figure out something, but no property taxes. What they did, another reason why I know that we got Chicago, I know that this city is going to flip lanes. I was living in Georgia during COVID, so I got to see Kirk as a governor, and I got to see Keisha Lance Bottoms as the mayor. And
she's the one that got TV on. Keisha Lance.
Yeah, she was the Atlanta mayor at that time, and now she's trying to do governor. Absolutely not. She handled the COVID. If Stacey Abrams would have got in there and not Kirk, we would have been like Chicago. And that can't happen because Atlanta has built themselves as the Black Hollywood of America. We don't have to go down to LA and compete. We can go straight to Atlanta. They have everything there now. You got rappers, you got everything. It's a whole entertainment. They're bringing all this money in, and you're telling them to close it off because of a flu? No, we have an immune system. And so Kirk was like, no. Just like DeSantis was like, no. Just like Abbott was like, no. When I saw the city of Chicago close, I said, how? How when Atlanta is doing this? How is Houston, Miami? I'm like, what? Mexico is open. That's the only country that's open. Mexico. They bringing in so much fentanyl. They're bringing in so much. You have to talk about how much money they done stole. See, y'all don't talk about, and another issue problem with the Republicans is Republicans don't. It's not your heritage. That's not my heritage.
That's what they hope.
You know why? Because y'all aren't. Because the Republicans don't go down to the city. Yeah, they don't go down. You have to get in community. Yeah.
These women are all going to, what is that?
Yeah, no kidding.
They're all going down to Broadview. And I'm sorry.
No, you're. That's what you're saying. Okay, because I just said this morning. I said, where are the suburban moms who are going to these no-pin rallies, who are going to Broadview doing that stupid, pathetic performance, but why y'all not downtown for teen night? Why y'all not down in the loop for, they just shot 8 people by Chicago Theater. Why you ain't out there with them? Why you ain't out in our community? Why you not on the south side?
Because they pick and they choose.
Right? But we have to start.
what their girlfriends are doing.
But those are losers too. So they were losers. They were losers in high school. It's losers with a little bit of money. What's us?
I want them all arrested because I can't even dream of it. It is assault.
That's why he got to declare martial law. Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down. Like how y'all forced us to sit down for COVID. It ran people crazy, COVID. Oh, I'm not from the west side. I'm from New York. My mother from the south side, though.
Oh, west side.
But I know about the west side.
My family started out here with fire. Then they moved to Notre Dame. Then they moved around our Indian Sorrows. Then they moved to Our Lady of the Angels. And half of us moved out of there, and the other half was our The whole city was abandoned years ago. And they don't do a damn job. For years, the last 50 years, they continue to vote the Democrats in. And
Right.
people in the suburbs have been most we should leave the story. You're not fairy tales. I've been attacked twice in Chicago. I've been attacked and hurt twice. And I attempted carjacking when I had to go. I avoided that. And this is what happened. Little did I think it really would happen. And I just pulled out. I didn't care if I died. They blocked the streets and that out at night. But people don't believe it. They don't believe it. Their stories are very helpful.
You can't get the news to report it. Even WGN, they're very skeptical.
No, they suck. They're all terrible. Y'all gotta tell y'all story. Y'all gotta tell y'all story.
Now they have a new attorney.
Eileen?
At least they voted her and they got rid of the other one.
Well, I need her to do, they say she prosecuted 11-year-old child. Well, I need her to bring back them skills and start prosecuting these children. Because I'm trying to tell you guys, I grew up in the suburbs. I was a suburban kid. My basketball coach was my dentist. Like, I know what privilege is. I know what a village is. My mother was a single mother. You know what I'm saying? But we had a village. My friends. It's about to start.
I was abandoned up testing my blood.
Of course.
Ready, right?
I work in Austin.
Good morning, everybody. We are so excited to have you all here. It brings such joy to my heart to see people like mine in our community, and even not in our community, from other states. Terrific day that maybe you learn a little bit, and maybe you're inspired, and maybe you just, network with people that you haven't met before, and wait till you see the people and the group that we have today. So we're really excited about this, and thank you again. I want to start with, as we always do, God before country, our prayer. Can I please bring up the Honorable Penny Pullen? She is a legend. She was a former state representative for 14 years. We couldn't be more blessed. 16, correction, sorry. We couldn't be more. She's counting. Anyway, we are so, she really is the wind beneath many people's wings. She does things behind the scenes. She's supported so many people. I can't even begin to tell you. And I know there's people in this room that say the same thing, especially at Penny's table, right? Can I have a amen? All right? Whoa. She's going to begin with our prayer.
Well, before I turn toward the Lord, I have to say it is a deep privilege to be with all of you, and especially to be with Susan and Shar, who are Republican Women of Park Ridge, holding up the pillars of this community. And I appreciate each and every one of you that have come to pay tribute to them, as well as to hear good speakers and to get this coming year going for the sake of rebuilding our beloved state of Illinois. Will you bow with me, please? Our gracious, loving Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day, for this gathering of patriots. We thank you, Lord, for the founding of our country that we are going to be celebrating over the next year. We ask you to keep us ever mindful of those patriots that have gone before us and of those that are coming after us who need our witness, not just of the glories of freedom, but of your blessed hand upon this land. We thank you, Lord, that though we did not get to experience him for as long as we would have liked, we had the leadership of Charlie Kirk in this country to lead many, especially our young people, not just toward America and common sense, but toward you, Lord, and toward family and a bright future for all of us in America. We ask you to give us the courage and the strength to do what you would have us do, to hold on to this country 250 years young, and to restore this community to your ways, Lord. We ask you to bless the food that we have eaten, that it may nourish our bodies, and that everything that is done today here might nourish our souls. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Now we're going to take just a few moments to remember the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr. Charlie loved life. He loved his life. He loved America, but most of all, Charlie loved his children, and he loved me. with all of his heart. And I knew that. Every day I knew that. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. They should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
People across the country are gathering, holding memorial services and vigils to honor Charlie Kirk's memory and his message.
To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. I promise I will never let your legacy go. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen. Rest in the arms of our Lord as He blankets you with the words that know your heart always strives to hear. Well done, my good and faithful servant.
Charlie, you put all this together, my man. Let's hear it.
I am just humbled by God. That's all I can say. It's done. I want you to remember that we did not earn this. This is God's mercy on our country.
I was gonna hope. I didn't know when I was gonna cry, but it's, you know, watching that just makes us appreciate Charlie so much for what he was and the impact he's had on so many of us. In particular here, because he supported our club. We hosted him. He came when he was 17. So we watched Charlie grow up, you know, with Turning Point, and it was just such a beautiful thing to see him blossom. And the contributions he made to our city, our state, our country, and worldwide. So thank you for like celebrating his life, I guess, in a little way there. Lest you think we forgot our pledge, I bring forth Alicia Bailey, please, because we usually do.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Preston, next time I would think to have you lead the pledge with Alicia. That was beautiful. Now, well, first of all, I guess we were going to take a break and then start up with our agenda. But I do want to say that, you know, as we approach this Thanksgiving week, you know, a lot of kids are having, friends are having Friendsgiving. I look at this as like, this is our Friendsgiving, you know, in a way, right? We're not having like Blackout Wednesday. We're not having Friendsgiving parties. We're having, you know, a good time together with like-minded people. So, yes, right? Instead of black, we are the light, right? We are bringing the light forward. So we want to have you know, we want to have a message of hope and optimism, but we are thankful, and we are thankful to God. But I'd like us to all think about what we're thankful for our founding fathers, because they gave us a gift. They gave us the Constitution. And this entire country should agree. And you hear many Democrats espouse to this, but the Constitution is what we're given as a gift. So when we think about that, we should be able to unite around that. And I just, you know, what the Constitution does is protect us, right? Our faith, family, and freedom. Those are the three things we stand for. You know, amen. And if you read our Republican platform, you will see clearly the contrast that we have in bringing God and the Constitution forward. So I ask you all to look at that. You can get it online and see it. So anyway, we're going to have a little different format today. And we're doing so to engage you a little bit more and have questions and answers with our speakers, but also just because we have to go a little bit quicker. This is not a candidate forum, but there are many candidates in the room, and there's elected officials in the room. So I do want to recognize you all, and I'm going to ask you to stand up to do so. But I do want to announce that there is a candidate forum forthcoming. Sal and Bodo. Bodo is our new committeeman with Republicans in Maine Township. Table, we've got sheets to get email addresses, so we can send you things too. So if you pass that around, that would be great. But we are having a candidate forum as part of Republicans of Maine Township, theming Rise. You've done a great job, Frank, to bring that forward. So it's December 9th, and many candidates will be coming, and we're having a good theater. The vintage Pickwick Theater, right? So it's 900, 850, something like that. It's a lot of people. So we want the room to be filled. So many of you are in different areas and different networks, and we'd appreciate you spreading the word to that so that we can, you know, bring everybody in from the governor's race on down. So thank you for that. And so what I'd like to do to begin with, well, first of all, let me say thank you to the Republican women of Park Ridge. We've been since 1936. It's a long time, right? So if you think about that, that was Depression age, you know, people that understood, you know, what really we stood for. So anyway, thanks to Shar, Penny, Alicia, who did so much of the background. Thank you, Alicia, for being patient with all the changes. And, you know, when you have a political event, it's a little bit different. You can't just fill a room. You're trying to like have, you know, people sit together that belong together. Donna, Margie, Lisa, my sister, and also our sponsors. So I do want to talk about the donors in particular too, because we actually, this is a very nice venue. We're appreciative to have it. And so because this is a more expensive thing than just a quick, you know, a place that we meet otherwise. And so Jim Ropel, who is not with us today, but he knew Charlie well. Judy Carter, a skateboard community, a dear friend. Judy, thank you. Jim O'Donnell, who made an additional contribution to us. Representative Brad Stevens, this Brad Stevens table over here. Joe McCula. And then we also have the Assyrian group, Joe Tamaris. There you are. Republicans of Maine Township, which we just announced. For Illinois, which is Kevin Browski, right under governor. The Honorable Penny Pullen, these are the table sponsors. Jennifer Davis. Congress. Did I miss anybody for tables? Which table? Oh, okay. Okay, so, but what I want to do is, I also want to acknowledge people that are really important to our community, and it's not an affiliation because it's not Republican. Okay, so maybe in typical Republican communities, we don't acknowledge, these people, but I think we all know them to be good friends of us, and they value the things that we do. So we have, and I probably will be at risk of forgetting some groups. So let me start with Turning Point USA, because we talked about that. And Young Republicans, because they're our future, right? So we gotta I'd like to say Chicago Flips Red. Zoe, where are you? If you haven't already watched it, it's amazing what these women are doing to stand up, and not just women. And Danny's not here yet, right? Is she coming?
She'll be at
Get a chance to talk to
11:03.
Zoe. Watch the city council meetings. Who stands up to Brandon Johnson, right?
That's
I
right.
mean, we look at this and it's like, sometimes, I look at them and they're in some ways on an island by themselves. Like, where's the support in Calvary? So, we all need to come together and realize that we don't have to live on the south and the west side of Chicago to know that Pritzker is lying about there not being crime and that there's no problem. So, concerned parents of Illinois. Yes. Patriot ladies of the North Shore. Yes. Life advocacy. Penny Cohen. My sister Lisa, pregnancy resource. And by the way, we're Republicans and we really do care about the environment. Clean up, give back. Donna Adam, where are you? We don't have to have climate change to say we care about the environment. Okay, so quickly, I am going to ask you to stand up if you are a elected official or a former elected official, please. Thank you so much. And the position you were formerly or currently in, please. And then later we're going to talk about bringing up the candidates.
Hi, I'm Diane Harris, one of the board trustees for the Joliet Junior College. Thank you, Diane.
I'm TJ Brown. I'm the committee person in Northfield Township.
Thank you, TJ.
Don Tracy. I was chair of the Illinois Republican Party for 3.5 years, chair of the Illinois Gaming Board for 4.5 years.
Thank you.
Lipinski, Republicans of Elk Grove Township Chairman. I'm the elected committee person in Elk Grove Township, also running for re-election.
McCarthy Lasara, Robert, to represent Maine Township in the 9th State Central Committee.
Eleanor Sweet McDonald, re-elected mayor for the Village of North Barrington, and also Cuba Township chair.
Reintroduce yourself, Penny. Do it. Thank you. 16.
Bob Grogan, former DuPage county auditor. County guys don't need an auditor. Joe McCullough, former Niles Library trustee.
Thank you, Joe. And
Dan Kelly, former 40th Ward committeeman, presently 50th Ward committeeman.
thank you. Thank you, Jim. Sal? Lots of titles. Thank you, Sal. Toto? Cynthia?
Cynthia Shank, committeeman, serving your library board trustee in Marengo Union.
Thank you, Cynthia. Martha?
Larry, Barrington Hills Village trustee, and I'm also chair of Month for Liberty of Lincoln.
Thank you, Martha. Christina?
I'm Christina McCoy. I was a trustee of Downersboro Township, and I'm a precinct committeeman in Downersboro.
Thank you. Feature speaker as well.
Christine Svensson, former trustee of Palatine Township, current clerk of Palatine Township. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Rose. Holly.
Former 10-year Wheatland Township trustee in Will County.
Wow. So you can see there are many people that have dedicated their life to service. Let's give them all a round of applause because it is not easy being in office and running for office. Can you stand up, please?
Former bunch of staff. Indiana precinct committeeman.
Yes, yes. And she was on library board and she's been involved in so many things.
And she's the OG.
Yeah, sometimes it's, sometimes you don't get the credit. Like here, I just want to say this, in Maine Township, we have precinct captains, but outside of Cook County, the precinct committeeman, you're actually on the ballot. So you get the recognition, you have the responsibility, and people know who you are by that. So it's a little bit harder in some ways to get people to volunteer their time when they don't, they're really not an elected official. So anyway, thank you all for your service with that. Okay, Shar, can I bring you up, please? So you're gonna introduce them.
Yeah, there's a lot of candidates here, and although it's not a candidate forum, we want you to know who they are. So if you want to track them down and ask your questions and decide who you're going to vote for, that's really important. And if I were running for office, I'd want my moment in the sun. So we're just going to have, well, first of all, the fight against J.B. Pritzker is the marquee of all of next year. And the fight against J.B. Pritzker, is there anything more important than defeating Java? So we have a really hot gubernatorial race, and so we want to introduce and just give a couple minutes to the gubernatorial candidates. And Ted Dabrowski is here. So Ted, if you could just come up and for a minute or two, just introduce yourself.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you guys for hosting an amazing event on an amazing day. So my name is Ted Dabrowski, and I'm running for governor of Illinois. And I'm running because Illinois should be a top 5 state. We should be competing with Tennessee, with Florida, with Texas, North Carolina, right? For growth, for opportunity, for jobs, for wages, for freedom, yeah, for proper culture. But sadly, we are not. We're a bottom 5 state. Under Governor Pritzker, we're for jobs, all those things, we're at the bottom. And we shouldn't be a bottom 5 state. And I know that, as a matter of fact, because when my parents came here as immigrants, my mom came from Ecuador, my dad came from Poland. When they came here, we were the states, right? Everybody was coming from all over the world for freedom, for opportunity. And I think we should return, we can get back to that, but it's gonna be a big, big fight. And I talk about my parents a lot because they fled failing states. They fled failing countries, right? They had to leave. My father was a young man who took 3 bullets fighting in the Warsaw Uprising, and he finally fled. My mother, if you know Ecuador, beautiful country, but it's full of poverty. And if you go back 60 years ago, it's even worse. And and they left a bad state. They left bad countries. And I don't mean that bad in the sense of the people. I mean in the sense of policy. And what's sad now is that our state is becoming one of those that people are fleeing. And I go back to 7 years ago when I met a young man down in Harvey, and he said his parents had left Harvey because they couldn't sell their house. They wanted to get out. They went to Mississippi, and he was sticking around. And the house had gone from $50,000 in value, and he thought they were going to sell it for $5,000. Nobody wanted to live in Harvey anymore, and a lot of that was property taxes. And it's sad because they were being squeezed out. Well, you would think that's just a Harvey story, right? But just last week, they were burning property tax bills in West Chicago. They're burning property tax bills. And as I've gone around the state, everybody's complaining about the property taxes squeezing them out, and people are leaving. So that's what we need to fight against. And I do believe that we can undo all Pritzker's policies, right? That's got to be the goal. He is putting all of us at risk. He's putting our beautiful state at risk, And I will fight for all of you to bring back, when you talk about faith, family, and freedom, bring back affordability, right? Bring back the job creation, because that's what we need to fight for. This is an amazing state, and we can do better. I'm running for governor of Illinois, and we can do better. Thank you.
I know that we don't have any other gubernatorial candidates here, but we might have some surrogates. So I was hoping Cindy Mender could come on up and talk a little bit about your husband. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cindy Mender. I'm here representing my husband, not unlike Erica Kirk did for her husband now. My husband, unfortunately, can't be here today. He believes in leadership through servitude. So he is at a charity event where he is giving away a holiday meal to the residents in DuPage County. My husband James is the DuPage County Sheriff, where he is a constitutional sheriff. Our state is under an emergency problem, and we need an emergency manager. Now, you all may think, just a police officer, what can he do? My husband runs an $80 million budget where he also has a robust, he has a robust rehabilitative service where he is bringing people who are otherwise incarcerated, helping them get their lives back and make them tax-paying citizens versus being walking crime waves. And that is one of the problems, is the Safety Act currently is one of the problems where he has a leg up on how to change this in the state of Illinois. It's great to recognize that there's issues in the state of Illinois, but if you don't have the ideas and you don't have the fortitude to go for these things, we're not going to be able to make it. My husband, James Mender, is running for DuPage County Sheriff, and I apologize for my stuttering. Thank you.
Thank you to your husband for, putting himself on the line every day as sheriff. We back the blue here. And being a constitutional sheriff, although they were really important during a time of COVID, right?
Exactly.
When we were losing our freedom. So, so God bless. And then the other candidates are here because we want to get to our program and our really good substantive speakers. If the rest of the candidates could just please stand up. And what we're going to do is start on this side of the room, and you can introduce yourself and what you're running for quickly, and then we'll just kind of move across. So, sound good? Yeah. So, Joe, why don't you go first? You're running for a 55th House seat.
Some Edison Park and Norwood Park and more.
Running against? Running against?
Well, now, I was running against Moylan, but continually dropped out.
Well, the Chewy.
The Chewy Garcia, the group. Yeah, so,
The old bait and switch.
yeah, the old
Isn't
bait
it? Okay, and Jennifer?
Jennifer Davis. I am running for Illinois' 8th Congressional District, so Raj's open seat that he's leaving for us to take is planned, and it goes all the way from Huntley, where I live, all the way into Chicago, down to Batavia, north to Des Plaines, so gerrymander doesn't
Megan Gelderman, my husband, Jim Gelderman, is running for Illinois House District 17. He's currently downtown fighting objections to the petitions, so we're fighters. Thank you.
John, running for U.S. Senate for Durbin's old seat. Let's see him get this done. I'm stealing your thunder.
Except that I'm Don Tracy, not Dick Tracy. I'm the oldest of 12 children, believe it or not. My youngest sibling, old number 12, is Dick Tracy. But I'm Don Tracy. Please help me win this important seat, this open seat, this greatest opportunity to win statewide, and since a U.S. Senate seat since 2010. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Ed Lipinski. I'm running for the 56th state representative seat against part of the Madigan machine, Michelle Mustin.
Hi, I'm Diane Harris, Republican candidate for Secretary of State. I did not mention earlier that I'm also the Joliet Township Vice Chair of the Republican Organization. I need your support in the primary and on to the general and running against election to the league.
LaHood. I'm running statewide for the Illinois State Comptroller's position. So my job would be figure out where they blow all your tax dollars.
Okay. What's your
help, we'll
background?
get that done and take it back.
What's your background?
I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney for 25 years. I started suing the governor back during COVID when they tried to fire all of our teachers down our way. I got into a lawsuit with him. Then when he came after the students, I represented them, volunteered. Then I represented him against the unconstitutional grab of our guns. Then I've been hired by the actual governor of the state of Missouri in order to go after WPATH, who's been going after our children and transitioning them. So I'm there to get their information that they're hiding. And currently, the Freedom Caucus hired me to go after the last budget, which is also unconstitutional. Wow. Sorry. Yes, I got together with Chicago Flips Red on the south side of Chicago, and we stopped an illegal immigrant shelter going in right next to
Who's your driver?
Oh, my driver doubles also as my wife, Kristen. We left at 4 this morning, so it's about a 5-hour drive to here. So she's driving solid 10 to 12 hours a week getting us up here to Chicago. So
the state comptroller has also been known as the state auditor. Interchangeable titles. So I think Illinois needs a good hard audit. So
Yes. Good, we do.
All right. So we got one more. We got one more. Oh, John Ellison. Hello.
John Ellison, 9th Congressional District. As many of you know, the 9th is a tough one for Illinois. But this year could be a little different. I'll tell you what. We got 17 Democrats, but there's one independent that's running. She won't be on the ballot till November, but she's a socialist Democrat. So we're thinking maybe if this Democrat, they could maybe split the vote because they're going to be going after. So it could, hey, it could be a chance for the 9th.
Sounds like the devil. What does that say?
And I'd also add that Char was the vice chair of the Republican Party. Let's not dismiss, forget that. Okay, so we're going to begin our featured speaker today, who couldn't join us, and profuse apologies both to you all and to us that he couldn't be here because he got called back to DC after the shutdown for so long. So I'm going to read his bio, and we're going to get a special message just to our group here from Congressman Darin LaHood. So I'm going to give you a quick background so that you appreciate everything he's done for us. He was born and raised in Peoria. He served as constituents of the 16th Congressional District, excuse me, the 16th, yes, Congressional District. He originally was sworn into the House of Representatives on September 17, 2015, after winning a special election. He won re-election to serve his 4th full term in Congress on November 8, 2022. He's one of the good guys that we want to stay here, even though he served 4 terms. So when you think about term limits, be careful, right? From 2015 to 2023, LaHood represented the 18th Congressional District, serving much of the central and western Illinois, following redistricting process, which, by the way, it's because what did we do? We lost population. Thank you, Sandy. Yes, because people are leaving Illinois. So, and then when, okay, so it was redrawn. So during his lifetime in Congress, LaHood has had a strong conservative record of leadership for his constituents in Illinois, promoting economic development, fiscal responsibility, protecting American jobs, and support for our nation's law enforcement community and America's national security interests. LaHood has been an outspoken advocate for creating a better business climate, reducing our federal deficit, advocating for better international market access for Illinois farmers, yay farmers, citizen farmers I forgot to mention too. Christina, citizen farmers. Oh, yes, right? We can explain that. Supporting our local communities here.
Thank
So,
you.
and I got sidetracked there. Lowering taxes for working families and supporting the needs of rural healthcare providers and patient access. He believes in strengthening America's national security is essential to combat foreign threats from China, Russia, and Iran and making America more competitive globally. We need him on this front for China. LaHood also serves currently on the House Democracy Partnership, a word that's way overused by the Democrats because they are not democracy, but they say we're anti-democracy, and currently co-chairs the bipartisan U.S.-China Working Group, Digital Trade Caucus, U.S.-Lebanon Friendship Caucus, and the Congressional Soccer Caucus. LaHood, a third-generation Peorian, graduated from Spalding High School, earned a BA from Loras College, holds a JD from the University of Illinois, Chicago John Marshall Law School. He's an enthusiast athlete, has completed 5 marathons, and enjoys hiking, biking, and backpacking. He and his wife reside in Peoria and are proud parents of 3 sons. Let's welcome Darin via video.
Louder.
Worked an hour.
Good morning, everyone. This is Congressman Darin LaHood. I want to start by thanking the Republican women of Park Ridge for inviting me to join you at the 2025 Red, White, and Blue Breakfast. I'm truly looking forward to being with all of you in person this year. As many of you know, Congress is back in session following the disastrous Schumer shutdown, and we have a full slate of critical committee work to catch up on. In order to make sure we advance conservative priorities and get our government working for you, I had to remain in Washington, D.C. this weekend. But I didn't want to miss the chance to speak with you and to thank you for the work that you're doing. First, let me commend the Republican women of Park Ridge for their dedication and continued service. Dating all the way back from 1936, your steady leadership and commitment to engaging voters, growing our party, and advancing common sense, conservative values is exactly.
It's Schumer.
Try again.
Schumer did it. Those Democrats.
Thanks for coming, Danny.
Thank you so much.
I didn't expect to see you guys.
You're terrific. We talk about you. We pray for you. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I told you.
Thank you.
On the prayer line.
Oh, you have a prayer line?
Yeah, prayer line.
For Denver, Illinois prayer line. Oh, I need to get on that.
Get on the prayer.
Voices committed to fiscal discipline, national security, and a government that works for the American people, not against them. We need more of those voices in Washington. And the work you are doing every day moves us closer to electing more Republicans across our great state. In 2026, it is crucial that we keep our Republican majorities to support President Trump's agenda. But we have excellent opportunities to replace Dick Durbin with a conservative fighter and to put an end to J.B. Pritzker's delusional ambitions by retaking the governor's mansion. It won't be easy. It will take all of us standing together to organize effectively and show voters that our conservative policies offer real solutions for their families' futures. We need to recruit great candidates at every level, expand our volunteer network, and make sure voters in our communities like Park Ridge hear our message of fiscal responsibility, safer streets, secure borders, and restoring American strength. The work starts now, not in 6 months, not next year. So over the next year, I'll be doing everything I can to support our great candidates. And I know you will too, whether it's knocking on doors, stuffing envelopes, writing another check, or running for office yourself. We all play a part in fighting for the future of our state and nation. And we do this, and when we do this, I am confident that we will wake up on November 4th, 2026, and be proud of the work that we have done to elect more conservatives to provide for a better future for families across Illinois. So to all of you in the room this morning, thank you for your continued support, your involvement, and your dedication to our shared mission. We can't advance conservative principles or protect the future we believe in without strong partners like you at the local level working alongside us. I look forward to joining you in person at a future event, but for today, I hope you enjoy the breakfast, enjoy the fellowship, and know that I'm grateful for everything you do. Special thanks to Susan Sweeney and everybody else involved with her team. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Amen.
Right, it's just, oh, good, it's working again. All right, and I love Darin. On a personal note, you may have heard of the EV battery company ran by the Chinese Communist Party, Goshen, on Mentino, I always say that wrong. There's a second, there are twin EV factories that were planned. The other one was to be in Big Rapids, Michigan, and that's where I was born and raised in my hometown. And my family still lives there. So Darin was really quite a hero because he teamed up with John Molinar, who's the U.S. Congressperson for Western Michigan, and then one of our great congressmen in Indiana, Congressman Baird. And the three of them have been visiting Michigan and Illinois, really pushing back against this. And the Green Township Board, of course, was overturned in this issue, and Goshen's gone now because of this. And Congressman LaHood had a lot to do with saving my hometown and everyone that lives there and the property and everything, and everything my dad has built there. And so he's really a hero of mine. So he's really doing great work everywhere. So thank God for Darin LaHood. Now we got to save Mantino. Yeah, and those two factories were they were both connected as part of that supply chain manufacturing plan that Goshen had. So they're on the ropes. So we just got to keep pushing here in Illinois to get the CCP out too. Okay, so I have the great pleasure of introducing one of my BFFs, Christine Svensson. I'll tell you a little bit about Christine. She has her BA from Northwestern, her law degree from Chicagoland School of Law. She's a partner at Chalmers, Adams, Becker, and Kaufman. She's also Illinois Counsel for Judicial Watch and the great Tom Fitton. She's practiced law for 28 years in the area. We're the exact same age, so we both have 28 years. Was it 30? Okay, you're a couple of, oh yeah, I took 2 years off before law school. A couple extra on me. And she focuses in family law, civil rights, employment law, election law. We always really need her services this time of year. So thank you for that. And by the way, she does it all on almost an entirely unpaid basis. You have no idea the thousands of hours this woman puts in for Republican candidates who have election, issues. So she's an unsung hero. And I thank you again for everything you do. She's former general counsel for the Cook County Republican Party, probably still is. As you know, she's Palatine Township clerk. And in our free time, we like to roll the Republican National Lawyer Conferences, do election integrity in swing states for fun. And she's currently involved in a case that went to the United States Supreme Court for Laura Calstrini, Congressman Bost, and of course Susan Sweeney, fighting against the 14-day period where you're still counting ballots after Election Day in Illinois. And that's a no-no for federal candidates anyway. Our U.S. Constitution says there shall be one election day. So she is taking up that fight. She's been to the Supreme Court. She'll probably be back, and she's here to tell us all about it. Christine Svensson.
Sweet. What a great introduction. It was really kind. Two of my favorite people, Susan and Shar. Can we just all give another hand to them? They are so tireless and kind. I'm just so lucky to have them as my friends. So this is really fun for me because I have a lot of friends here. I actually have a lot of clients here and former clients. It's funny how that happens to me, but anyone who is a former client or current client, you're welcome to just stand up just for fun. I don't know if you're willing to admit it, but. Yeah! This is great. So I just kind of want to make this fun storytelling because I didn't prepare anything, knowing that I was speaking after Congressman LaHood. I was hoping he would be here. I love him. So I'm going to make it storytelling and fun as much as I can. So when I was a little girl, I remember I was in 3rd grade and I got to be the lawyer in the school play. And I wore this little corduroy suit. And, I have to find the pictures from that. But I mean, I almost could start crying when I think about it because it was my dream to be a lawyer. And the fact that I got to go to the U.S. Supreme Court, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And it would not have happened without, first of all, Judicial Watch. How many of you are familiar with Judicial Watch? I'm just curious. So I'll just give you a little, I just want to tell you about Judicial Watch because it's just so interesting. So Judicial Watch has been around for about 35 years. It's a non-for-profit law firm based in DC, and they focus on government accountability, transparency, a lot of FOIA lawsuits. They'll even delve into civil rights issues. And this is a true statement. If it were not for Judicial Watch, Hillary Clinton most likely would have defeated Donald Trump in 2016. I could almost weep when I think about that. I'll tell you why. Because after Hillary Clinton had finished her term as Secretary of State, but Obama was still in office, I think she had, resigned before the end of that term. Judicial Watch started delving into her emails. I don't recall the specific reason, but FOIA stuff, trying to get her emails as Secretary of State. And they were in heavy litigation. They even tried to depose Hillary Clinton. She got out of it with an affidavit. But that aside, Judicial Watch actually uncovered her server, her private server. That's Judicial Watch. Yeah, I mean, we all know the rest of the story from there. I mean, yes, you could kind of blame James Comey, but there wouldn't have been any James Comey statement without Judicial Watch uncovering that server. So I think it's fascinating. So the case I'm about to talk about, Tom Fitton, the head of Judicial Watch, has said, this could be the most monumental case in the history of our lifetime. And I got lucky enough just to be the local counsel. I was not the driver of this case. I was just along for the ride. So I'm just going to tell you about that ride. Susan was fantastic. Susan was so brave to be our client, one of 3 of our clients in this litigation. We just have to give her another round of applause. Susan and Laura Palestrini were federal electors, and so entitled to sue, according to us. We also had Congressman Bost. You're all familiar with Congressman Bost. So the case is about the fact that Illinois passed into law about 20 years ago a statute that allowed ballots to be counted up to 2 weeks after Election Day. Now, of course, that's a national trend, right? That started about 20 years ago, and it's been passed in many, many states. And we're finally now fighting back. We should have fought back on that years ago. So, let's see. We filed, meaning Judicial Watch, and I filed a lawsuit in federal court of the Northern District here in Chicago in, I believe it was June of 2023, if I had to guess. And it's stating that this state law was superseded by federal law. Because as we all know, the Constitution says that the election is supposed to be held the second Tuesday after the first Monday in November. So the federal judge here in Chicago dismissed our case and said that we didn't have what's called standing. That's a legal term of art. Are any of you familiar with that term?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just make it brief. To have standing, it's not good enough to just be a citizen or even a taxpayer. You have to show that you have suffered an injury in fact, is what they call it. So what is an injury in fact? That's what this whole case is about. And so again, the district court judge dismissed our case. We then appealed to the 7th Circuit, which is here in Chicago, and we lost 2-1, but we did have one brave judge by the name of Michael Scudder, who did find that Congressman Bost had an injury in fact. Again, I think the reasons are obvious to us, but I'll just go through them. I mean, he has to, first of all, his margin of victory is diminished. It doesn't matter that he wins 80-20 or 70-30 or whatever it is. If the margin of victory is diminished, he has an injury. Secondly, there's out-of-pocket expenses, right? Because he has to hire lawyers and poll watchers and that sort of a thing to be at the polls 2 weeks after Election Day. You never know what can happen, as we know, in this great state. So he did like the issue, the argument for Congressman Bost. He did not for our federal electors. And that's sort of I don't want to say a side issue because I don't want to marginalize Susan, but it didn't even come up in front of the Supreme Court as a side note, the federal elector issue. It was all about Congressman Bost. So now I'll fast forward. We filed, actually this is full circle because I was talking about this case here last year, if any of you recall. We filed what's called the petition for writ of certiorari November of 2024, and we finally were granted what's called cert in June of this year. And that I mean, the Supreme Court takes between 60 to 80 cases a year. So it's an incredible feat for them to have taken our case. They took our case, in my humble opinion, for a variety of reasons. They didn't take our case to roll on the substance of the case, meaning the merits of whether or not balance should be counted 2 weeks after Election Day. They did not, we were not up in front of SCOTUS for that reason. We were up just on this issue of standing. And there's a circuit split. I believe it's the 8th Circuit, which is in Minneapolis, had a case that went the other way. There's a case in Mississippi, I'm going to talk about a little bit more later, that also went our way. I'm sorry, Minnesota went against us, Mississippi went for us. When I say for us, well, I'm going to get into that legality in a little bit. So they took the case. Believe it or not, politics does breed strange bedfellows, because we had friendly amici, which are friends of the court, from, for example, the ACLU, the League of Women Voters.
Oh boy.
Now, why would they do that? Well, they want to be able to go in and have standing to sue too on their cases, right? And so they didn't agree with the merits of our case, but they did agree that Congressman Bost had standing to sue. So we then, let's see, we briefed the issue. It's a rocket docket. Once they take your case, briefs are filed very quickly. And we had oral argument on, was it October 8th? October 8th of this year, hot off the press. It was really exciting because Susan and I actually got to go and attend. I did not make the arguments to the court. The arguments were made by a gentleman by the name of Paul Clement, who is the conservative jurist of our generation. He's actually from Wisconsin. He's a cheesehead. He has argued in front of the Supreme Court more than anyone that's presently living in the country. I think he's argued in front of them like 120 times, something like that. So he was excellent. We feel, so I'll tell you about how I thought the argument went, and I actually encourage all of you, you can just get on the SCOTUS website and listen to the audio. You can read the transcripts. It's really fun. The state of Illinois was represented by the Solicitor General of Illinois, and I have to say I almost felt sorry for her, right? She was not well received. Her arguments were not well received by the justices for the most part. So Paul Clement got up there, and again, I haven't looked at this case since we were there, so I'm going off the top of my head, but he went up there and made a broad statement that a candidate should just have the right to sue. And that's kind of overly broad, and even, Roberts and Kavanaugh weren't really buying that. And Kagan actually had a pretty good answer. She said, you know what, I might even agree with you, but they have to show that the law puts the candidate at some sort of electoral disadvantage. And the rest of the justices agreed with that, other than Ketanji Brown and Sotomayor. And so just to explain the position of the far left, their position is, and it's very illogical, that because Congressman Bost was assured of victory, he doesn't have the right to sue. I mean, what kind of it's absurd logic,
Oh my
right?
goodness.
And so then they were pressed on that, meaning the Solicitor General. I mean, so what? Gorsuch obliterated this woman. I can't. You have to listen to it just for that. Yeah. Basically, what is the margin of victory that you have to show to have standing? Right? It's a slippery slope. Do you have to? And then these polls come into play. So you have the Supreme Court justices actually looking at polls to determine whether or not someone deserves the right to go into court. We all know how ridiculous these polls are, right? So, that argument was brought up and they all dismissed it. Now, it's my guess that we're gonna win 7-2 on the standing issue. Again, that's just a guess. That decision could come down anytime between today and next June. But now I want to bring this case, I want to go back to the Mississippi case I mentioned. So the Mississippi case it's actually filed on behalf, it was a Judicial Watch case, the Libertarian Party of Mississippi, and I think the RNC joined it, suing the state of Mississippi for allowing ballots to be counted a week after Election Day, is my recollection. Standing wasn't even challenged in that case. So they won on the merits, meaning the Libertarian Party and the RNC won on the merits of the fact that that's illegal to allow those ballots to be counted a week after Election Day in front of the district court and in front of the Sixth Circuit of the United States. So again, hot off the presses, this past Monday, the Supreme Court took that case on the merits. It's really exciting. So I don't know the timing for that. I guess that would mean they're on the docket for next year, I believe. Our case would have to maybe catch up or be consolidated, but I foresee that we may even be going back to the Supreme Court on the merits because our case is nearly identical factually to the Mississippi case. I'm just speculating on that, I don't know. So that's that case. I would love to answer questions.
Would you spell plaintiff's name in your case? I'd like to punch it up and read it.
Sure, it's Congressman Michael, the traditional spelling, Bost, B-O-S-T, B as in boy.
Christine, does the RNC join your case as they joined the Mississippi case?
They did not, they filed an amici, I believe. That's my recollection. I'm sorry, I'm fuzzy on the facts. For 2 months I've been on election law basements and I have no idea what's going on. Yes, TJ.
Susan had briefed me a little bit on it a month ago, but something you said, I don't know if she termed it the same way. Did Justice Brown Jackson say that Bost had no chance of losing that seat ever? Or, like, it was
something along those lines.
There was such a shoe-in. Isn't it wholly inappropriate for court members to be playing Jimmy the Greek on a congressional?
Absolutely.
I feel like we should get it out of our vocabulary too. I mean, I have a lot of people, we have congressional races, and they might be very difficult. But if you put someone up against Mike Quigley, they're on ballot. We have a chance to win. And I think that when we have court members doing it, they really should be lit up for that, because if that's the position of members of the Supreme Court, it really doesn't engender participation in the Republic or really bringing candidates in to build their party. I mean, there are Democrats south of 80. I've met them. Maybe they're not as many as there are up here, but we got them. Go tell Darin LaHood he doesn't have to work. And I think I just find that whole statement inappropriate, and I'm glad Kirk ripped into it for the margin of victory shouldn't matter, because every vote we do make is a statement against the Democrat. But I hope they lit her up for doing this handicapping of races.
Yeah, I was surprised as far as how much the justices actually sort of did delve into the politics without really talking about politics, but on the surface level, being so interested in whether or not the person was going to win or was going to lose or was up by 70 or 60 or whatever. It's like, that's not the question. That has nothing to do with anything. It's about the integrity of the electoral process and making sure that every vote is counted properly and you have a proper result, whether you win 80-20 or 51-49, right?
So if the case in the Supreme Court, your case, wins, what do you expect will be the likely practical consequences?
So we will be remanded back to, and this I'm not positive about, whether it's the 7th Circuit or the lower district court judge. I should know the answer to that, but I don't. one of those, probably the lower district court judge, if I had to guess. Then we start on the merits. But now that SCOTUS has taken this case that's very similar to ours, you would think it would get fast-tracked because that judge is gonna be bound by whatever decision the judge makes on that Mississippi case. And I assume at some point we're gonna be consolidated because I just foresee that happening. That's just a guess.
So,
Steve.
Christine, so is this just election integrity in the way of that counting ballots after the fact and things like that? Because what my concern is how you just said the merit, right? We have 55 million illegals here that are voting to get their blue handouts. That's a problem, right? So are we counting them? Are you guys fighting on that? Because here they can vote. And they're voting.
So Judicial Watch has a number of lawsuits.
Yeah, they've drawn up a census.
Right. So go to Judicial Watch's website because they're suing in many other states about illegals voting. We're not suing about it here. I guess it's something I should raise with them. I think they're waiting for decisions in other states to figure out, it's like a chess game sort of a thing, but it's definitely on the radar.
Christine, the RNC is also suing to prohibit non-citizen voting in New York and other places.
Right.
They won in New York, right? They filed all over the country.
Right, that's great.
Anywhere it pops up, they're going after.
And I'm remembering about the RNC, I'm almost positive they're amici and that the Department of Justice ended up being an amici and then they were added. So the Trump administration actually joined our lawsuit and they actually made arguments in our favor at the argument. That's sort of a side part of it.
Question, for those who may know, Frank ran in 2020, his case is still sitting there for the whole sub-circuit court, but of course after redistricting, they even got rid of that sub-circuit court, if I'm not mistaken. How would your case and the ruling affect his standing that he's still in the system?
Yeah, that's a great question. I need to talk to him to find out where his case is, because I know you say it's still alive. Doesn't he also have a federal case? Did he state and federal, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to Shar about where the cases are. Oh, it is? Okay. Well, yeah, but he wasn't denied standing, so whether or not, I don't know the answer to that. These are things I'm gonna have to look into.
What I would like to know ultimately, is anybody ever going to be punished for the vast criminality of the system? This case, immigration, all the crap they do.
They going to jail.
It's criminal. These
Yes.
people have been in prison for a long time.
They gotta go. They're going.
So speaking from experience,
Yeah.
having gone through a recount that same 2020 cycle, having led for the 13 days following the election and losing finally on the 14th day, losing by 75 votes out of 500,000. The issue that I'm curious about is once you get back to the Boss case itself, past the standing issue, is part of it play, you just can't litigate the rules after the election is closed.
Right.
The thing that I like about what you're doing is it's obviously a forward.
You got it.
Because it's just the way the system works is you try to recount, but then they're also trying to pick apart the rules after the fact. And you really have to have a different way of doing the lawsuits that you get to preliminarily, injunctively beforehand get rid of that rules as opposed to always fighting about it afterwards.
So you're bringing up a great point. So have anyone heard of the Purcell doctrine? Because that's sort of what you're talking about. So everyone is hamstrung. When I say everyone, I'm saying if you want to fix election laws in certain states, because it's either too early or too late. If you do it close to an election, then they're going to say, oh, it's voter confusion if we change the law now, so we're not going to touch the laws. That's the Purcell doctrine. If you do it too early, they say it's not ripe. There's no injury. You're speculating. So this is exactly the problem that we all have. There are people way smarter than me, and they spend their entire career on that issue. So yeah, that's a huge issue. I don't have a good answer other than to explain what the problem is.
The answer is getting good reps in Congress, in your state government, with
So we're gonna have an answer to the standing question by next June, but the merits of the case will not be decided by the midterms.
But the Mississippi might be.
Well, that's what I don't know. So Don, if they just accepted cert, I don't know the answer to this. Does that mean that they would hear it this cycle? Okay, okay. I guess you're right. Okay, I haven't talked to judicial much about that, but I guess that's probably.
That's 5 days in Mississippi.
Right, right. I just don't know when they accept cert. Yeah, you're right, because it's a rocket docket. So I guess, but they don't hear oral arguments in the spring. That's the problem. They only hear it in the fall. That's why I feel like we have to wait till next year. I'm gonna have to find out the answer to that question. It's a great question though, because that would be important, right? Yeah. Anyone else? Thank you. So nice to talk to you.
Thank you, Christine. I might also add that it was kind of an interesting admittance from Elena Kagan, Justice Kagan, that she said, well, I don't understand why like the RNC doesn't come and plead this case and the DNC, and she said, and then the other issue was she admitted that most of the time, the 14 days after the election, there were issues with Republicans losing. So I thought, Judicial Watch is nonpartisan, right? So there wasn't really any, how do you say it, Christine? I mean, they couldn't jump on that, but it was just kind of a real, it's telling, yeah, because at the end of the day, there's a recognition that there's a problem with fraud. And I want to say on Frank DeFranco, thank you for bringing that up, because so I guess I was going to bring that up myself. Like, he won on election day with the number of ballots he had. And then the mail-in ballots started coming. And coming, right? 14 days. On the 14th day, Shar, correct me if I'm wrong, at 5 o'clock, he was still up. They kept counting, and so how long, to the, later in the night or something? Days? Okay, it was days. Okay, Joe, you wanted to say something? Yes.
Some of the ballots they showed us did not vote for president, senator, or congressman. They only voted for judge.
Yes.
And there were hundreds.
Yeah, and that was like Wheeling, there were a lot of those, wasn't it? I was there too. And it's just like, this is crazy to see. Like, that's not realistic, right?
That was in the 2020 November election.
Yeah. So anyway, and the last comment I'll make about, thank you, Christine, for all that you've done, because this is, as Tom Fenton had said, this is the most consequential and the biggest case of our generation. Why? Because it's not just Illinois, it's 18 other states, I think, right? So if we stop counting ballots for 18 other states, we're fighting for our country, right? So that's why I like. What do you want to say, Zoe?
I told you.
Pardon?
I said I told you when you first told me. I was like, that's kind of like a big deal. You need to go down to D.C.
Yes, ma'am. You did. By the way, I want to recognize Danny, who came in a little bit later too, who's really fought for us. They've both been on Fox News as the Chicago Flip Red ladies. So we really appreciate your bravery, because to be in the environment you're in and stand up for all of us is just amazing. I mean, how many people go down to City Hall and constantly, fight for Brandon Johnson? It's not easy. And they're ashamed, and they're this, and they're belittled. So thank you. Okay, on to our last but not least at all speaker, which is going to be very interesting. He's not just a reporter. He's one of the pioneers that really was responsible to help break open the doors of the White House to independent media. He's a chief White House correspondent for Next News Network. Many of you may have seen him. He stands on the front lines every day, which is another source of bravery, bringing American people and the stories the legacy media just won't touch. He was hand-selected as part of President Donald J. Trump's new media. We all know the new media. They got the, they replaced, got their little section over there. One of the very first journalists to challenge the old guard and bring citizen-powered journalism directly into the West Wing. His network, the Next News Network, which he founded in 2012, has grown into one of the most influential conservative voices online, amassing over 2 billion views. It's a lot of views. It's Trump would say, a lot of views. Becoming the first right-leaning digital outlet to cross the 1 billion view mark. And I might add, this is like amazing because consider how he was demonetized and, you know, exited out thanks to Google's blacklist, which maybe you'll reference that. That's why it's an interesting story too. He has interviewed leaders across the nation, exposed corruption, amplified voices of everyday Americans, built a platform that has reshaped how news reaches the public. Today, he continues that mission as the host of the nightly broadcast, The Raw Feed, delivering real-time, unfiltered, don't we know, reporting from around the world. Please join me in welcoming a trailblazer in independent journalism, a warrior for transparency, which is what we advocate for, and one of the loudest voices standing up to the legacy media machine. Gary Franchi, come on up.
Wow, that was quite an introduction. I just wanted to say my pronouns are he, him. This is the Democrat Women Park page.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I want to start my talk here today about like why I'm here. How did I get here? Everything I've done really just has not been planned. It's really been guided. And I can only say guided by God.
Yeah.
Truly. He gets all the glory in everything I do. When I was young, my mother, God rest her soul, she would tell me and my brothers, I'm the oldest of 5 boys. So I had a lot of younger ones looking up to me, and my mother she'd always entertain us with stories. And I'll never forget, because I was so proud of this. She told me that we are descendants of John Adams and John Quincy Adams. And my mother's grandmother, her last name was Grant. My mother's last name was Martin. And she said, yes, we're related to the guy in the $50 bill. Ulysses S. Grant. So we always had that pride, like we had presidential blood. And, you know, that's, you know, just when you're growing up and you're doing the pledge and you're listening to the national anthem, like it just swells up in you. I know you guys get it. At baseball games, it's even here, standing before you, it's such an honor. I mean, all the people that put this together, you guys deserve a round of applause. And my breakfast, amazing. The cooks in the back, give them a round of applause too. But, you know, it's in the blood. And there was a moment in my life, my grandfather had a stroke, and I was trying to do some genealogy, trying to figure out more. Like, my mother always said this, let's find it. It was just a story. Well, let's track, you know, the genealogy of it. And, you know, I go on Ancestry.com and I'm tracking things and I'm finding this, but I hit this roadblock. My grandfather's grandmother couldn't figure out, like, it was like the family tree just stopped there. Why? Who was my grandfather's grandmother? Now, he had a stroke. He couldn't share the same stories he used to. And I'm in the pool at my brother's house. And my grandfather is sitting off the pool side. And I'm explaining that I'm trying to find out who is in our family tree. And I say, Grandpa, who is your grandma? Sorry, I choked up because it's like, it's so real. Who's your grandmother? He says, Olive. I love you too, Grandpa. Olive. I love you too, Grandpa. You know, like this went back and forth. So I was so determined to find out that my wife and I went on a trip. Now, my grandfather came from Georgia, and he moved up here with his father, who got transferred from the railroad. My grandfather ended up buying a bakery in town in Northbrook, Country Made Bakery. That's where I grew up.
All right.
That was my grandfather's bakery. I worked there every Saturday morning.
Me too.
Yeah. Country Made Bakery and Cafayette. That was my grandfather's place. William Martin. And I'll never forget it was as I'm going on this journey, I opened up the Northbrook Star. Right? Remember those papers, the Star, whatever it was, the Deerbrook, whatever. And in one of the pages, there's a picture of this big, beautiful float. It's a big cake. Now, my grandfather and his floats were well known. I mean, my grandfather was a very loud and just a big character. He was a big person, big personality. Always walked around with a huge stack of cash. I mean, the guy had like $1,000 bills in his pocket. Grandpa, show us the $1,000 bill. You know, like, whoa, that's a real thing. We take it back and we Xerox it, colored it with crayon, run to Hubinger. We want some candy. You know, trying to pass counterfeit $1,000 bills with Crayola markings. That's what we grew up with. So I open up the newspaper and there's this big cake and it's got a huge Confederate flag on it. Oh my goodness, you know, like that would not pass today. But that's, you know, my grandfather had a lot of pride for where he grew up in the South. So my wife and I decided to go on this journey. We're going to go down to Georgia. We're going to find out who Grandpa's who Grandpa's grandmother was. We go down to Madison County, and we go and we track down this guy. I think, what was his name? Oscar? Do you remember his name? Well, he was the guy. He was the head of records for that county, Madison. And we go down there. And he's like, yeah, I got all this stuff. I did a bunch of research. We found out who everybody is. I'm like, oh wow, this is wild. So we go down and we go into this old jail. Like straight up iron bars. This is like, you know, Civil War stuff, Revolutionary War era prison where they kept all the records. We go in, he hands us a piece of paper and it's a big binder actually. And he says, yeah, you have a family plot in town. I'm like, whoa, really? And we go through the paperwork. He points to a map on the wall. There's an entire district called the Martin District in the county. At the center of it is the homestead of Elizabeth Martin. The dots are starting to connect. You want to go to the grave? Yeah, let's go. So my wife and I follow him, driving through this graveyard. It's the middle of the day. Nothing spooky, but you get to this part of the graveyard that's just so old. It's wild. We pull up to this grave, big plot, massive concrete monument to the Martin family. And we get out, and I look. I see the grave, and he points to the grave. He goes, the grave said Olive, my great grandmother, my grandfather's grandmother. So my grandfather there's nothing he was telling me. I was assuming he couldn't tell me, but there it was. And that was just part of the story. As it continues, Elizabeth Martin. Who's Elizabeth Martin? Who is this woman? Who's Abram Martin? Who are these Martins that I never heard of before? And it takes me on this wonderful journey. sorry, I get so choked up when I think about this stuff because it's in my blood. Why I fight every single day.
That's it.
I come across a story of Elizabeth Martin. At the time, she was living in the Carolinas, South Carolina. I'm sorry. I really apologize for getting all worked up here, but the emotion just hits me so hard when I think about the gravity of where our forefathers have come from and what we are all descended from. Because there's been so much blood spilled to preserve the freedom that we just kind of take for granted sometimes. So this woman, Elizabeth Martin, I find out that she had 5 sons and that they all went off to war to fight in the revolution. Well, the wives had stayed home. The men were at war. And this is an important story because it shows just how important that the wives and the mothers and the women are who don't get the credit when they're standing by the men who are fighting. We all fight in our own way. And these women took it to the next level. They heard that there was a British dispatch that was coming through, carrying sensitive communications for the British military. Their husbands were at the front line. So these women dressed up in their husbands' uniforms and waited for that British soldier, the scouts, to come through. They ambushed him. He freaked out. They demanded his dispatch papers. They took them and they brought them to their husbands on the front line. Very sensitive communications. And so we have a Kleenex or something, or a napkin.
Yeah.
So thank you. So they bring these papers to their husbands on the front line. All right, job done. Job well done, ladies. The Martin sisters. What happens next? The next morning, the dragoons show up at their house with that scout who had been ambushed by these women. And the women show up, their sleeves rolled up, just doing the chores of the day, right? Ooh, who are you? Right? We are looking for, we hear there's soldiers nearby and traitors nearby, and we are here to search your home. The women who had just ambushed that dispatch were standing right in front of them. They didn't even recognize me. Oh, no, please come in, search the house. We'll give you quarter, serve you, right? Having breakfast with the Elizabeth Martin family. Those soldiers never knew that it was the same people, same sisters that had ambushed them. All that from a search to find who my grandfather's grandmother was. That's just one piece of the story of how I got here. It's in the blood. Now, when I decided to get into politics, and my mother had always told me these stories, and I always wonder how can I do this for a living? I was always a rebel in school. I didn't really, I hated school. was probably in detention or Saturday detention all the time. Got kicked out of my television class for lying to a teacher, smoking on a field trip, you know, like that was me. So, but I always wanted to know. I always wanted to know what the future would hold. So I just started taking newspaper headlines, cutting them out, putting them on a Xerox machine, making flyers, handing them out to people. And it would just continually grow and grow and grow. That was about 18 years old. Then growing into having a tiny little phone or a little camera, tiny little camera, recording everything. And then I met Aaron Russo. I met Aaron Russo, who made a film called America, Freedom, and Fascism. I met him at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles, where I now live, ironically. And I started working with him after he had made this film, which helped put Ron Paul on the map, helped with his presidential campaigns in 2008 and 2012. In 2012, I ran a super PAC called the Revolution PAC, supporting Congressman Paul. After the super PAC, we were running television commercials for candidate Paul. And I decided that we would take this energy and move it into television news. Because I saw what happened with my candidate, Congressman Paul. I saw what they did to him. I saw what the GOP did to him, the media, how they just dismissed him, just destroyed him. Well, I said to myself, I said, I'm never going to let that happen again, ever. Now, prior to that, I've been doing magazine publishing, documentary films, and all these different types of by any means necessary to get the word out. And we ended up on television, WHD TV, South Florida, broadcasting to 12 million homes, and eventually we went to YouTube. What happens next is just remarkable. After I left WHDT, my YouTube channel was growing at about 50,000 followers at the time. 2016 election comes around, we start reporting about, we're trying to figure out like where we're going to fit in with this election cycle. We wanted to support a candidate, we wanted to figure out where it was. The field was so crowded. And like, you know, Donald Trump's really saying, he's hitting a lot of these notes that are right in line with what I believe. Like, let's just go full force behind Trump. So the news cycle starts to pick up and we start to report on him. We reported this story that Hillary Clinton, a doctor, had come forward and was diagnosing from a distance. And he said that he thinks that she has Parkinson's disease. And based on her health and the things she's doing and some of her activities, physical ailments, everything he could see on the campaign trail that was publicly visible, she had Parkinson's. So we reported this, and the video was mega viral. Now, during that election, our YouTube channel hit 70 million views in just 1 month alone, which is absolutely absurd. And this is all being done from, what was it, a basement in Sugar Grove, I think it was at the time. So after the election, Trump wins, and now the knives are out. They're trying to how did this happen? Oh, it's fake news, like Hillary and Obama, fake news, right? Donald Trump comes back, co-opts the term. He says, no, you're fake news. Hillary Clinton goes on an apology tour worldwide. And suddenly I get a phone call from my producer. He goes, Gary, Hillary's in Australia right now and she's talking about you. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, you gotta see this. Sends me the link. One of our viewers had sent it in. I said, oh my goodness. She's running down every single headline, like almost verbatim that we had reported on. Now, she didn't name me by name, but I know for a fact that she had watched everything. So what do? We went ahead and we found all the videos. We intercut it. Every time she'd mention it, we'd like cut to the shot of me talking about it. There's this guy, he's always talking about me dying. You know, that's what she said in Australia. He's always dying. Like, yeah, you look pretty bad on the campaign trail, coughing up stuff. Couldn't walk upstairs. You're getting thrown in the side of your bus. I mean, come on, like, We all saw it. They called us conspiracy theorists because we were pointing it out until she collapsed at ground zero. And then, of course, the conspiracy theorists were right again. We always are. It just takes a while for the rest of the people to catch up. So after 2016, that election, the knives are out. Washington Post, New York Times, Forbes, everyone starts coming after me. Oh, we're gonna ruin this guy. We're gonna take him out. He's Russian propaganda, right? Like just crazy stuff they were saying. Then automatically, because we were so effective with getting our message. Now, in that election cycle, we had more views than Hillary, than even the Trump campaign, than the White House, than Alex Jones, Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. We were the #1 YouTube channel on everywhere. Killed everybody. So of course, they needed to disable us. They needed to chop us down. When a whistleblower came forward with Project Veritas, in front of Project Veritas, one of those honeypot missions, they said, we can't ever have one of these Trump situations again. Google executives saying this, right? So what did they do? They flipped the algorithm in 2017. November 2017, algorithm completely turns upside down. Every single search result you receive on YouTube is now suddenly, if you typed in Trump news, we would have top listing because we had so many videos. What happens next? Boom, it's all BBC, ABC, Fox News, CNN, all corporate approved narrative. They called it authoritative, that was their term, authoritative news. Well, apparently we weren't authoritative enough to make that list, but we did make another list. You know what that list was? Another whistleblower comes forward. Zachary Voorhees works at Google, takes out 1,000 documents from Google, publishes them. I'm like, holy cow, this is the motherlode. What's in these documents? I start going through the documents. I find a spreadsheet or like a PowerPoint slide. This is how we're going to suppress the news on YouTube. Oh, this is the one. This is the document we've been looking for. We saw it in the statistics. We saw it in the algorithm. We felt it every day, but we didn't see it in black and white. There's the document. But wait a minute. What's at the bottom of it? What does it say right there? Next News Network. At the bottom of the document with a weighted score on how they would manipulate the search results. They put us at the bottom of the list. They put us under Russia Today. I'm worse than the Russians. Okay? So you guys are all screwed now. You're all accomplices in my plots. So, Gary Franchi thrives. Moves forward. The Next News Network continues. What happens next? Well, now at least we got it on paper. We know what happens. Oh, Hillary Clinton comes back, does she? Oh, yes, she does. Has anyone ever heard of something called the Clinton body count?
Oh my.
Remember that?
Oh my. Really?
Just people kind of dying around them all the time. I don't.
Watch out.
Liz Foster, whoever, you know. Well, there was one curious death that surrounded this entire body count list. And me being the person I am, and, you know, I just want to stick it to them sometimes. This guy dies up in like New York. I mean, curiously, he dies by hanging and a shotgun. I don't know. You ever heard that before? It's kind of a strange thing. And then when you can't find the shotgun, it's even more curious. The coroner report comes out. Suicide. Okay. Sure. So I'm reporting on the results of the coroner's report. And of course, I tie it to the Clinton body count. Well, why? It's because the guy that did this, the guy who, you know, unalived himself, I guess is what you're allowed to say on the internet.
Unalive.
He unalived himself.
Oh my gosh.
He checked Jeffrey Epstein into the White House 9 times during the Bill Clinton administration. Oh, just a coincidence. I mean, how about those Epstein files, right? We haven't stopped talking about it for how long now? Well, we go down that rabbit hole later if you want, but so what happened? So I make a video about it, and I'm just asking questions now. I'm literally just asking questions, but my thumbnail was a little bit risque. Hillary, I'm sure saw it. I'm sure she saw it. I'm sure people saw it. They saw what I did to her during the 2016 election. I'm on their radar. I'm in the press. My thumbnail had a picture of Hillary Clinton. And then you just do a Google image search, Hillary Clinton. You'll find numerous pictures. But if you type in Hillary Clinton angry, Hillary Clinton evil, Hillary Clinton, you know, ugly or whatever, like you can find all kinds of wild pictures people have made. There's actually one picture where she looks very menacing and she's, you know, angry. I'm like, that's the one. All right, crop that picture out. All right, now find me I need a coroner's office or a coroner's bay where they have all the refrigerators where they put the bodies. Yeah, give me that background. Yeah, put that behind her. All right, now find a doctor. I want the doctor to be facing her. Line up the eye line so it looks like she's talking to the doctor. And I need a speech bubble that says, add another to the list. Well, that was about all it took.
Wow.
Because after that video hit YouTube, I got an email from YouTube. Mr. French, are you having suicidal thoughts?
Oh my goodness.
Oh no, I'm not. Just know that YouTube cares about you and they have resources if you need help.
Oh wow.
Totally automated email. Why would I do that?
Surreptitious.
I wasn't talking about killing myself in my video. But in this video, sir, oh no. It's because I described the manner of death. It's because it described how he did it. I explained the process. And that in itself created a trigger. Chain of events, keywords strung together, where then automated suicide message comes out. Oh, now suicide message is triggered. Manual review of the channel. Okay. Just that I guess it was that morning. It was the next morning. I wake up, and being a YouTuber in this day and age, you live in a state of terror, like straight up terror, especially if your livelihood depends on it. Like I said, I didn't plan any of this, but now I'm that's where I'm at. Wake up every morning, check my YouTube stats. First thing I see are those little green dots next to my YouTube videos, which means each one's making some money. I wake up. All disappearing sequentially. Wait a minute, that's weird. Now that happened once before, and I freaked out, but it was a glitch. Oh no, maybe this isn't a glitch. I check email. Sir, after a manual review of your channel, we've just discovered you're out of line with the partner program, and therefore we have to terminate your partnership membership in the partner program. What? You gotta be kidding me. And like that, our lives changed. The second, go to my wife, explain to her what happened. Like, now it's triage time. And long story short, I ended up having to fire like 20% and then all the way up to 90% of my staff. We were cranking out so much content. We had to figure out how to keep frequency up while we had less staff. Very, like, when you do what we do and how we collect news, information, process scripts, videos, like there's a lot that goes into the process. Especially when you're trying to connect narratives that no one's connected yet, or try to dispel or explain something when the mainstream media is lying straight up to your face again. I mean, they make my job pretty damn easy, I should say, though. They're lying all the time. So what happens next is we demonetize completely. Eventually, I have to sell my personal belongings. A lot of personal belongings I had acquired over the years. What was it, a 2004 red Ferrari convertible with tan interior? God, that thing was a beautiful car. Rolexes, gold. Accumulated a lot of gold over the years. You know, that's what you do. You're conservative, you want to make sure you have, do it. It's time. Sell. Go. These things are material items. Get rid of them. We need to keep this channel going. We need to keep this fight going. Whatever it takes. Fundraisers, donations. I mean, in like 48 hours, we raised $148,000 on our channel just from our viewers alone. But that only lasts so long. We're literally getting down to the end of the road. And all of a sudden I get a phone call from Zach Voorhees, the whistleblower. Gary, I got a Hail Mary for you. Now Zach, I've known Zach. After he was a whistleblower, I spoke with him, he's been to my house, took him to my country club, had a great meal with him, drove him around. So it wasn't a strange phone call to receive, but he calls. Gary, I got a Hail Mary for you. What is it? I'm testifying in front of the Texas Senate tomorrow on election transparency. I'm bringing up your channel in my opening remarks. Oh. Remember that slideshow, the PowerPoint with your channel on it? That's Exhibit 1.
Good, bring it up.
Let's go. Let's go! Now, the hearing is in play. But I've got a side hustle where I own a DeLorean time machine from the movie Back to the Future. So I had a client I had to pick up for his 40th birthday and drive around Chicago. He wanted to see Chicago in the DeLorean. Okay. So I've only got such a small window of opportunity to be able to participate and watch this hearing as it's happening in Texas. Put the phone up on my dashboard, I'm watching it, and I'm like live streaming back to my channel and from my DeLorean going, all right guys, this is the Texas Senate hearing. I gotta set it up. I gotta let people know why they're watching, why are we presenting this, why it's important. So I'm doing this from a little picture window in my DeLorean as I'm going down 88, going 88, and eventually pick up my client, drive around, and I'm like radio silent for hours because I can't see what's going on. I'm not going to bring this client into my like, oh yeah, by the way, my channel's being brought up at the Texas Senate today. Well, eventually, we find out what happens after the hearing. He brings up the channel. The committee members ask him, what do we do? What do we do to stop this election to stop this election interference from big tech? That was really the overall message of the hearing. And he says, well, you have to sue them, subpoena them for what they did to the Next News Network, and then you'll find out what they're doing to everybody else. The committee voted unanimously to subpoena Google. It was a big, huge celebration. I remember sitting on the floor of our kitchen, celebrating with my wife, like, yeah, we were so happy. We were still demonetized, but we realized this was a big punch. So what happens next? All right, subpoena Google, what's the process? All right, they're gonna subpoena them. maybe a week and a half later, they sent a strong letter to all the top CEOs at big tech, Google included, and they would demand for records. If you don't comply, then we're going to, we're going to send in like the Texas Rangers or whatever, like whatever they do down in Texas. So I had this idea. Why don't I just interview the head of the committee on my channel? I'm a news channel after all. This is newsworthy, so why not just invite him on the channel and let's talk about it, right? Google's already kicked me enough. It's time to drop a freaking nuke right on Silicon Valley. So I got a hold of the committeeman, the chairman, bring him on the channel, and I go, so what happened with that letter? Did Google send you everything? Of course I know, because I'm in the freaking, I was brought up. I'm in the subpoenas. I know I was. So, oh yes. So they complied. There's a couple other holdouts, this and that. So they complied. So if they complied, does that mean it's public record now? Can I have access to this? Oh yes. All you have to do is submit a public information request to the state of Texas. Oh, so you're saying all of the communications, emails, anything that may have something to do with Next News Network, and of course I didn't say this to the thing, but I'm talking around it, yeah, everything can be brought up through public information request, FOIA. That's what they call it in Texas, PIA. So I wait, file a request, and I hear my phone rings, it's Kirk. How much time have I got?
He did going.
I don't know where I'm at. I'm so sorry. I'm still like running this. I'll get to it. Okay, all right. I'll keep this. I don't know how long am I saying? Time. I'll get to the end. So here's what happens. I get a phone call from Patsy Spa, the clerk of the Texas Senate, and she says to me, if you go through with this, we have to notify Google of what happened, that you have requested this information. I'm fine with that. My wife and I were at the MAGA, Madison Square Garden rally for Trump, and I get a phone call afterwards. All right, Google's been notified. The next morning, I got a text message from I have a team in London that handles a lot of our YouTube stuff. So I got a weird message from YouTube. They want to know that if they remonetize you, that you'll be a nice boy. I'm like, yeah, I'll be nice. And what happens next? Within 24 hours of that, my request going to Google, the channel was remonetized. We're back in action.
Did they give you back pay?
No, we're working on that. Yeah, I didn't even get to the White House.
See you around. Oh, thank you so much.
He wasn't the only one, but there was a blacklist of.
Yeah, Zach had an entire list, full blacklist, all of the names, keywords, people, things you can say.
So when you think about it, thank you, Gary. This was Google doing this. We all asked the question, you know, is this the one? About the media. Well, he's the example, right?
Yeah.
Being silenced, doxxed, demonetized. Gary, I don't want you to.
Oh, I'll take some questions.
I do want, there's a lot of people here that, you know, we went really long. We were trying to not, so I appreciate you. You know, I understand what you're doing. So there's people that really want to meet with you, so I want to honor that. But maybe a question or two about
Good presentation, Gary.
So there's so many other people that were. He was just like top of the list, cream of the crop, right?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I was
above Alex Jones, I think.
Yeah, Alex Wilson, Alex Wilson.
So this is the problem, but it took one whistleblower to come forward, right? And with Google, and he change just that, sometimes it takes one person to fight something.
Yeah.
So stand up and listen.
Yes. I think that's what I want. I knew what you were
Disruptive.
Yeah, I want to ask a question about the White House, sir.
Yeah, or we can talk to you separately too, but does anybody have any questions that they want to ask?
You're a legend!
I will just say that I was not welcomed with open arms by the press corps, and that there was hazing that was taking place by members of the White House Press Correspondents Association. I made sure that they lay down their boundaries, and you're not allowed to do this, or stand here, or put this there, and then they make it very known that you're doing this. That your tripod is over here, but you're in violation of fire code. They want to make an example of you. They did not like us there. Eventually, they just had to relent because we're there. We're not going away. And eventually, I was able to ask President Trump a question, Treasury Secretary sent a question, several questions in fact. He's got Stephen Miller several times. And it's a remarkable experience what President Trump has allowed. So going from that demonetized platform to now having official White House press credential access, being on the floor of our kitchen crying to the White House is an amazing journey. And I'm just blessed that the Lord has allowed me to continue that journey and share this story with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Google play with me if you want to. Demonetize me, Google. You too, Google. What you do, YouTube? Y'all been shadow banning me.
They've been shadow banned.
I've been shadow.
It's always been, that's the picture say to police officers.
Good.
Yeah. See, Google. See, they be censoring you. They be censoring people. TikTok, I'm censored. I don't even go live on there because they're gonna take my page. They're gonna take my page. So it's just always trying to protect a natural behavior.
Yes, that hellhole.
But he'll figure it out.
Can't wait till next week. Oh no, we got it. Yeah, city up.
Oh yeah.
Start we were running.
For governor, so yeah. So yeah, you know,
yeah. Oh, yes. We gotta bring this in.
We're talking about having a New Year's countdown. First one in Chicago. The first one in Chicago. Right?
Yeah, but with the guy.
We gonna talk about that. We gonna say it. So Brendan Johnson, the tree lighting, everything got shot up. So what you gonna have a New Year's Eve light so everybody can get shot up too?
It's bad out here. We out here in the trenches.
So guys, you all saw that shooting that happened with the tree light. Hey guys, with the tree light.
Right next to Chicago Theater.
Right
where the ABC cameras caught it.
Yes, in Chicago. In Chicago, Brandon Johnson, head host, he was talking about the Christmas tree lighting. Then you know that we are having a New Year's Eve. This is what the first one ever done in Chicago for New Year's Eve. I can't remember who was the gentleman who was going to be hosting.
Always for New Year's Eve, everybody talking about. You got a name?
I don't know since the other guy died. Stop doing it. But anyway, so who's going to come to these events, Brandon Johnson, when it's not safe here?
It's 150 police details.
Yes, who's gonna come to these events, Brandon Johnson, when we just had a Christmas tree lighting and people got shot? 8 people got shot, I believe 1 people died. Come on, Brandon Johnson. Stop gaslighting the people. I keep telling you all, he's been gaslighting you all for a long time. We're trying to let you all know what's really happening, and we shouldn't even have to work this hard, especially if you live in our communities. You the one dodging bullets right now.
Get Clark.
Yeah,
You're, hey, yeah, you
Jim
you're,
Gelderman, how are you? That's Megan's cell phone number. We want to organize South Evanston. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're trying to build a campus. We have a lot of low to medium income housing in my district, in the districts we're running. And we want to reach out to them, especially in education and
He's got presidency.
I'm gonna text you right now.
hey, beautiful. How are you? How you doing?
Are you just in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
I just knocked something off the tree. So Mark Fisher has worked with us a lot. So we have 3 candidates running, and Evanston's part of it.
Oh, okay.
Because we follow you guys all over.
You do? Thank you. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
So, do we get your on here? Shirley made that pen pretty close. Sure.
We'll get together.
Okay.
And,
I just text Megan.
okay. So
All right.
I'll have Mark set something up. And so we got a lot of people. Our district starts at the north part of Chicago, goes all the way up to Tower Road along the lake, and then we go west. Almost 294.
I have a friend whose family lives in Evanston, and I was there last year for Thanksgiving. I like Evanston. Yeah.
Well, I don't even.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't like Daniel. He's terrible. He's the mayor. He's weird.
Well, he's running for Congress now.
Oh, I'm
That's what they all do.
Yeah.
If I'm 76.
All right, well, we will link up.
We're up in the
I know.
It's a lot of work.
There are, but
Yeah.
okay, so
Well.
Well, you would think that, but right now there's a lot of stuff. So,
Make it
yeah,
dream.
there's a lot of work. But yes.
Thanks.
I was going to say hello. So, did you meet our Terry Warmer? Yeah, we did from Barrington. No, that was
Oh, yeah, Terry. Yeah,
and Terry was
yeah.
going to like try to organize something with you guys.
Yeah, steak dinner.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
And I know
yeah, we're supposed to bring it around.
hear what you're all working on and like get some more detail. So,
Yeah. I want to go. We supposed to be talking to our operations manager. But yeah.
Yeah,
He
super.
said, yeah, Terry. I talked to him last week. He actually sent me a podcast.
I know.
Oh, yeah, he was on a podcast something ago.
Yeah, I listened to
Pretty
it.
good. Yeah. Thanks for coming out.
Barrington
Yeah,
right
we
there.
trying, we're kind of sleepy, but oh.
Yeah, Barrington.
That's my news workshop, so maybe I'll see you.
I'm not I want to.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're doing awesome.
Or something else.
Yeah, I was trying to raise.
Yeah, just a picture. Thank you so much for all you guys do.
Thank you.
There's all of us.
Yeah, I'm in this too, and I don't know, but he's so bad, and he promised he was going to come to this one, and he's like, never did. He is so, then I noticed that he was going to be able to
library that he was going to be at. I
would have no problem with it. Two roofs, so this might be a touch.
So he was, let me get there first. So he went to events. From there, he sent the young kids that were your press. That's what I was saying earlier. I did my last name. What's your name? But I just wanted to F-U-G-I-E-L.
We've had some fun having
Yeah, you're not too far from me. I don't remember. But it was during the end. And like the district said, you can't leave. And they're trying to stop what is it, Texas and California. Ah, look at Illinois.
Watch it again.
I mean, it's just horrible. And then,
you know what?
I grew up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jody, yeah, we do. We will come out. Yeah, she was saying that.
The sun is setting. I've seen where the sun is setting. No, come on, try to live in Evanston, but like,
well, you sent me that video. I mean, send me the movie that you think we need. Yeah, we do
To me, it's shameful. You do not attack.
Right, that's what I was asking. Right.
We can do it.
Oh, okay. They said to get her attention.
Oh, okay.
I live in that gallery. They have no idea how much I knew that my office was lying. I knew it firsthand. I knew
I get one Chicago ward in the district I'm running. We're going to switch.
some of my I'm not on their side. If they ever, I'll probably be disconnected. I don't know, some thing friends giving change
like you've been doing it, Brandon.
I've never gotten button.
My line.
Yeah.
Chicago, hey, Chicago's flipping red.
Right.
Frontside, baby.
Right. And somebody did a screenshot that. You know how they.
Is that like?
Yeah. But for him to say that and then leave, I wanted to address him so that it's. Oh, okay. Okay.
After your break. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I've seen
Yeah, she was,
Miss Diana was saying, so we right away, and then get used to the channel.
Well,
Well, at 5:30.
like an hour and a half.
No more than that.
Oh, South side.
Oh. That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, I don't think so. I have trouble riding at night. But that's not going to be our lunch.
Oh, yeah, that ain't no problem.
Are you
Trying to get as many followers as possible.
Yeah, it's on one night, I never thought, and they're letting them off no matter what. One guy created 5 accidents, but 2 minutes was like, I couldn't get over if I knew he was drunk. Alcohol. Yeah, so he had no idea. He failed the route. I know explains police.
Oh, one thing to go and talk to.
But they let me get
Every second Thursday, we have
on the corner where Mariana was.
Wow.
So I never know.
I feel bad having the same last name.
I lost my
If I'm daily.
I say that to say
I think it's just getting information out there, you know. You're dealing with some fried monsters.
Yeah, I thought you were saying
these days you gotta have this. We have to have more fellowships or what we call them now mixers. You gotta have the mixers, you gotta have more young kids like pop-up shops, you gotta have like pop-up shops. And then you just come out. That's my talk for about 2 minutes.
Right.
Long thing.
Right. Okay, so you said second, second Thursday.
It is.
And then if you don't want to
Where's my cell phone? Okay,
I think so. We're talking soon. We have an incident. Yeah.
not everything has it. And like in the street,
Her husband seems very, Dave.
Yeah, so I'm trying to keep up with you. Like day
And you
one.
kind of had to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I also.
Yeah, that. I mean,
Oh,
I
love you. Oh, yeah, everything was good. It was a great opening. We had to finally put the kick it in. Like, y'all not gonna erase this. That's what got us all messed up. Like, we heard the argument about slavery, but let's talk about what people everybody right.
And you know what? They like the internet so much. I want them all on Zoom. There's no need for sending them all over our country.
Yeah.
You ever seen a skinny biscuit?
Yeah.
And they're getting just enough money.
That was a great morning, right? So good.
And even then,
Somebody's floating the idea of something like that. Whoever calls, you don't have to make it work, right? And it's like, but the school because they're
how can I get information?
I love you guys. I see you guys all the time.
He's probably going to stay now. They're letting him stay until 80. Unless you're special.
When I see like a Fox News thing, someone
82, but
screaming
yeah,
in
that's
the
right. They're
hall,
But I heard that they're going to give him a position. I don't know. It all sounds pretty good.
my wife did something about it.
where do you operate?
I'm staying because we didn't have to get it. I think they're going
Bittersweet.
I was actually just
Somebody lit on
celebrating
fire.
the fire.
Right.
There's
And
nothing.
he went.
The lighting.
And he went.
Yeah, sure. Nice to meet you. Sit here.
Yeah.
Sit here, Shirley. Yeah, you too. Zoe,
I did a group chat.
Well, if I need someone to do like a news history.
Let me go in and meet my favorite celebrity. We may be relatives. I like the way you snarl your lip and you say, and you. You're not even from Chicago. You're from Elgin. You're from Elgin.
Oh, I know, that was good.
Right. Oh, because I grew up in the city of Chicago.
Step over here.
West side.
Well, we take
West side.
Yeah, west side.
Okay.
You want to get in the picture?
Go ahead, guys.
He said no.
Okay, it's okay.
All right.
I got her phone.
Hold on, smile.
Send it to you. Okay.
All right. I took a bunch because
Thank you very much. Oh, you did. That's good.
you can't give you guys too much time to think about this.
Yeah, I've even met union reps. You know, I was going into Starbucks and I said, no. I said, and when I get really depressed, I turn on and see the people in Chicago fighting against it.
And it makes you happy again.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, because you must be, Brandon Johnson, you lost your mind. And we're going to tell you that, and you're going to get your butt up out of there because you're going to jail.
Nobody's coming to Chicago. The stores are all gone. And look what our young scholars did last night.
The young scholars that he gave all those jobs to.
Yeah, look at those young scholars.
Look at those young scholars.
And I got to go hear the piano choir boys.
Right, see?
And I'm going. If I die, I'll hunt.
He wants to use it.
West side right here.
Right.
West
See what I'm saying? Miss Margaret, they play him. Miss Margaret, look. Say hi to him. Say hi to everybody.
side.
Say
West
hi.
side. West
Miss
side.
Margaret said she's not playing with Brandon Johnson. Anybody play with him?
No.
Yeah.
We're not going to let a guy from Elgin come in to Chicago, destroy Chicago and Illinois. That's not going to happen.
You from the west side for real?
Yeah, I'm from the west
It's the
side.
real west side.
That's a real West Side.
I'm from the west side, 1000 block North St. Louis.
See,
Right.
Brandon Johnson, stop
What?
stop that cosplaying. You're not a real Chicagoan. You're not about this life.
We have
We have real.
Margaret's about this life.
Okay, cut it.
But yeah, Miss Margaret, yes.
Where's my girl?
Huh? are you? Thank you so much. Good to see you. How's everything? Yeah, I did. I'm like, oh my God, I'm home. And then Joe, I go up there, yes, I guess something. Yeah, this is really nice.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good turnout, right? Nice to see you.
Danielle.
Enjoy it?
Huh?
I know, she is, right? She is.
Yeah. This is the real west side. Picture? Yeah.
I was in all
Oh, you was the only
King.
King. Okay.
No, King. And old man, Mayor Dane was right hand man. My family goes back to the Civil War in Chicago. Yeah. Oh, I take bad pictures when Okay, pose. Oh, you're not done yet?
Just a moment.
Now set? Okay, let's see if it turned out.
And then may I ask you for one more?
One more? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, get together. Get together, faces forward. Head up, chin down. Cheese. Now let's hold. Check it. Check it.
You think I can move it? What? May I ask? Okay. Sorry.
Oh, okay, you want to do? Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Margaret, we free. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
For another photo, please. Thank you.
Close. Cheese. Let's see now. Check it
Thank
out.
you so much, Margaret. I absolutely that's much better than yes. Thank you.
Right.
You also got to sit down.
Yeah, my friends give it.
Did my friends
They're having a Friend this.
If it's good, I'm coming, Zoe.
Yeah, prayer line. 9 o'clock in the morning. And it's
Prayer
just,
line.
It's not recorded. People will listen, and we want to hear. So can we do that? You know where you can go when you need to get away from here? I don't just
Looking at their property taxes.
I'm sure.
Looking at their property taxes.
And then I connect with you, and there's like. So the point is that, you know, you need to be surrounded in prayer. No, I do. You're hit by a bunch of, you're absolutely right, opposition. And you know it's spiritual. And so this guy is sitting there saying he's a Christian, he reads the Bible, but he don't get it. Yeah. And so break that in Jesus' name. You have to abolish what he's been under, because he's under a false thinking. Yeah. I don't care what kind of gifts you got, mercy, whatever. How about mercy for the people in Chicago? That's right. That's right. That's right, Miss Shirley. That's what you're saying. That's right, Miss Shirley. You are absolutely right. I know. That's what you're saying. So I'm
Right, Miss Shirley.
We're gonna put your name. Okay, you're Darlene, and I'm so happy.
Danielle.
This was divine appointment.
Yes, it was. It's Danielle, Miss Shirley.
I know. She put Danny.
Oh, Danielle. Danny C.
Apparently, jeez. You okay?
All right.
We're
Thank
coming
you.
to. Thank you for your help. Did you record the whole meeting?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
I'm gonna get my photo.
Ted, how you doing?
Same here. Oh, and try to call Main Township.
Great.
But that's okay, you're not that, you like.
I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you in the nation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get friends on her. Yeah, but I go to some of, like, I'm going to the Underground Road. Yeah, I've never been there. I don't so I don't necessarily want to go on a trail. Yeah. And then we have to
Thank you, Ted. I'm right. I'm good. I'm good.
don't mind, can you do one for us too? Yeah. Put one with Bailey. I gotta be
Yeah, you gotta be neutral, like you say.
I talked to TJ Brown.
Are you seeing those?
He knows how to avoid the double chin.
Okay, look at it. I like
Yeah,
those.
someone I know said,
Appreciate it.
your new haircut
Yeah,
is
So I was watching
stunning. And I said, thank you.
What are you on TV? But I can't
What
remember
is it? And I said,
Fox.
"Guys,
Anyway, how you doing?
yeah, good.
You guys find a good fight?
Yeah, you know we have to. You know it's crazy. You know what's going on in Chicago. You see what just happened last night.
I did a little reel on the woman that got burned.
You see? So we have this, the woman that got burned, the woman that got stabbed on the train.
And the woman that got burned.
Like kids, the elementary school kids, pregnant, and you had the woman who got stabbed on the train. This the one who got burned on the train.
Yeah, see, I even missed the one that got stabbed.
You know who got stabbed on the train. And the judge let him know he had 49 arrests, and the judge let him know.
That was the burn.
That was the burn. No, it's another stab.
Which turned out to be 70.
Oh yeah, that was, you're right. It was a stab one too. The man stabbed the woman.
So I did this one. So I went 2 days ago. I went to the station at Lake and Park.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that was him.
Right, 49 arrests, 10 felonies. So I said, just end the safety act.
Yes, you gotta end it.
Just get rid of it, man.
Just end it.
And the last
That's a good. That's good.
yeah, it's good. That's good.
Yeah,
22,000.
Yeah, it's another one who got stabbed. It's a man who they got him off with him.
Yeah.
Oh no, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
I saw, yeah. And then the shooting that just happened now last night. And then he's talking about bringing so what's a law dropping in Chicago? This was supposed to be a Christmas tree light. That's what you got talking about.
I mean,
Can't go to a tree night in Chicago, downtown.
if you come out, they're gonna bomb you. I know it. You come out, they're gonna
You go to tree light.
You have to. No, you have to. Because just said she was down there. So you have to. And I just saw something that Darin did about Aaron that was down there. Yeah, he did a whole thing that Aaron was down there with his wife and kids last night too. And that happened blocks away. So yeah, you guys talk about that because that's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we have that's one of the things that we're definitely bringing light to, because every time they keep saying this, Brennan Johnson wants to talk about how safe it is here. You know that every time he say that, it's always something happen, like a little bit like right after. Yeah.
Chris over that 5 years.
Yeah, right after that. So we have these are the topics we're talking about, because those are the things that crime and
we never got CJ.
What?
We wanted to help you. So my group, I'm part of a group called Citizen Farmers. And so we wanted to help you guys become a grassroots movement. I sat for 5 months every Tuesday listening to you guys, understanding how you guys work, understanding your own Republican thing. I did everything. So then I don't know if it was you and you guys sat with CJ, but Ramona sat with CJ and CJ from Citizen Farmers,
sure.
my guy. And so we were going to fund you some money to do this and open your bank account. We were going to get your website. We were going to get you up and running. I was going to have, we were going to have Jimmy Ives come speak to you guys integrity. We were going to do all of this, like, you know, how to do elections, what elections are. I had things all printed out. We did all of this. And then Ramona came back and said, we're not interested. So we're like, okay. But I wanted to help you guys. And I got, Tracy donated you guys. I gave you a bunch of people. A bunch of my people. I helped find you guys some people for my women's group, and I'm just really bummed about that. I was like, okay, we wanted to help you.
I only know who CJ is.
So maybe we should talk. I want to help you grow this. And I liked you guys because you guys came to the protest when we protested with Brian, and I just like you guys. I like what you do. You guys do. But I like the one that like she just did
I live in
my
Wilmette.
services.
Wilmette, okay. Yeah, we have to. That's Democrat.
Okay, so then maybe we just have to sit, or maybe we need to sit with CJ and talk. We want to help you guys like get a grassroots space and get like voters and do everything like really solve the problems. Yeah, and we have a lot of donors.
It was nice to get
you. It's really hard to even break that.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, we'll do what we can.
All right, all the best. Thank you.
Make it well
I
known.
look at groups and I say green light, red light. I said green light. So I want to help them.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
I just think there'd be a good grassroots space and like, you know, I mean, door to door.
Yep.
So I wanted Eric was like,
Well, you know that she is running for office.
you are? You're for sure doing it?
Yeah.
Good for you. I think Tracy told me. Good for you. And I didn't even not take a picture with you. I just. I would. It's done. It's horrible. The rest of the safety was out. I know. He's sweet. But I'm like, how? And then I hate it. Okay, so no, I like you, but I already have
Well, no, we didn't know.
In the workplace, and I'm like, yeah. That, and so that's why we keep telling the work we're doing, and we keep letting everybody know we have done this with no no help.
Yeah.
And we keep letting people know we're going to continue doing it. We're going to get this done.
Oh, I like it. I like you and your husband's a cop, and you guys are awesome. Yeah.
You to see everybody, everybody now that was in Chicago that wasn't on board or
yeah.
Or you should see all the emails in the
Good.
messages now. So it's going to happen. But it would happen even more if we had the help that we needed to do the things we want to do.
Okay, so do you want to meet with CJ and see how we can help and meet you in the city?
The only thing I've always asked is I need venues. I need 50 venues in 50 wards. I need to do this a monthly thing. I need my venues.
You need a venue to like talk to people and
Yeah,
get
but in every
we were
ward,
gonna
though.
do that.
Yeah, could you imagine right now? Think about it right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Thought I could forward.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. So, yeah.
But we were going to help you guys do that, and we were going to create little boards for you and make people and give you stuff to pass out, give you technology. We're going to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I did that like 4 times. I feel back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the one issue that y'all have.
Oh, I need her phone number, and then I'm gonna take off.
Yeah, I have a tax thing. I give you a guy.
And I'll talk to her beforehand.
But we would use the technology to hit all the voters and everybody. Like, you know, this happens. So, like, I think we should meet together. Kind of, I was trying to make it interactive. Yeah. With my group,
Oh, the whole thing. Okay. I gotta let these people know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Let them know. We're going to Joseph for him.
Okay. So we
Oh, tell them.
and let's go to lunch. I'm not shitting on you. I was on numerous times.
Hey guys, I'm gonna say goodbye.
Okay.
See you. All right. Take care.
No, that's I come from
Okay.
Yes, 10. Oh,
All right. You too. All right. Get a gun thing here.
yeah, I will.
All right, good.
And then
I'm gonna have an event.
I got $1 billion. I just need my venue. Yeah, because you bring the people. We don't have to go out there.
Thank you. Your own social.
Yeah, we can bring
thank you. Okay, so why don't you give me your number?
Yeah, I like that candle. It's one of the best candles I got.
Let's meet. And okay, what's your number? Oh,
What's your number? They lie
hold on a second. I don't know why it's recording. It's like government insurance, right? CJ.
That's right. They
CJ. Okay, so it's
To your face.
Yeah, to your face, but you could so they feel like okay, but if you
312-358 and then 12.
So I'm going to say CJ, and
You
so
see the hard neighborhoods too, the ones that you least like.
and Danny's
Massive increase.
I don't know nothing about heart.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because people still pissed, like this ain't going right for a while.
Oh yeah.
Come here right now, tell you why
They're seeing expired tips that now they're on the hook for. What did Garfield, Garfield Park, or no, one of them went up 100.
Pop-up shops. That's what we have to do.
You want to get them together.
Yeah, I know. I built it.
All the way up to 130. Angle one went up 100 or something like that.
Yeah, meat. I'm going to say that, okay? I think we should have meat.
And you know what they'll say? They'll be, oh,
All right, and then we talk to CJ.
Texas,
Right, is that
to
cool?
realign with the community to help bring, you know, like they'll give you some
Because
long way
it's
that
cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad that, you know, this was Jesus Week, that you guys were here. And, you know? Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I want to help you guys. I like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
Right?
So I got her phone number.
Oh, you got the phone number? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Her phone. She gave me. Yeah. I got her phone. But we pray on every day at 9 o'clock, and then maybe you can give a little input, and then just we'll pray. Oh, we want to add you in there. Okay. Because you need support. Yeah. We also, we had, I went to Intercessors for America meeting. Yeah, they talked, you know, they connect on phones. And they had a chapter from the GOP chapter. I don't know him, chapter. We do. He said, well, I want prayer. Because he's there. They didn't give him a staff, but they gave him a job as like a tour guide. So we're going to go in there.
So,
Oh, yeah.
but if you know what
Oh, because you God supports it. That's how he got it. It's
Urban Center just had something.
Yeah, Urban Center.
So I actually found out about it because I went to the Urban
They
Center
gotta get
right before the city council had voted on
the
proposed bill there,
from
the
Capone.
budget.
Yeah, that's it,
And I was
right?
like, this is where I found out.
Yes. Okay. I'm Shirley. Shirley, like Shirley Temple, who all is named after. Okay. And I'm really a
And
senior
then
citizen.
they just did another one next year.
But I have to be. But I
one of them
have,
was the volunteers helping get things
going, it's like
flimsy
she was
upstairs.
old. And you know, well, I want to be, we can sit home and we can pray and we can say, God, you are.
That's what
Yes.
I was telling Andrew about
Because it's in their mind. And Johnson,
I gotta do them
it's
in
like,
different areas of
you know,
the
our
district.
mouths are full.
That's part of it.
Don't call him this, don't call him names. Let's say, God, have mercy on him and give him the strategy
I
so we
left
can
him
get
a
out
message.
soon.
I didn't even get a
How long?
because
How long is he
he's the only quote unquote Republican. Some say he's an independent.
You unravel his if anything, spare us. Yeah, spare us. Yeah. We can say, you know, so we don't get the control. That's right. He can unleash that prayer.
And that's not necessarily true.
Don't be allowed to be allowed. And we know we always protect.
I can talk about my little
But in I can see how.
Financial.
Yeah.
He's a financial. He's an urban.
We got something great.
They all
And then they can come right back and have us go right back into this church. Break the trend. It is a trend. You're right.
We was all the things come to an end. It's just their lasted 7 years. Nobody
It's breaking the
drive down. I need to drive down.
Hey, are you ready?
You know, this time you build the shop.
And
And I do last or they talk about I took my kid to
okay.
we had to go through security again. Oh, yeah, of course you're safe over here.
Okay. Yes. I know you.
So I was just like the old school.
Yeah,
It's not the police. Like, they got no guns. Like, it's all in the same for Nice to meet you guys. Yeah, I gave you the Okay. Yeah, sign up for the website, and then I'll put stuff on there.
Like your daily.
So, I'm calling you guys. I love when you guys rip on city council. The last one is?
Joe right? He's the guy.
I'm gonna be leaving.
Yeah, he is. He knows he's a man.
And he walks around like he's got gifts of freedom.
I think he knows something.
Yeah.
Nah, you're just an idiot.
No, literally. How do you wake up every morning? That's my life. That's been your entire life.
When well, it was there's a guy, I don't know if he's point out or he's a big guy. And somebody tried to have a conversation. She's like, how do you feel? Basically, be surrounded by such white privilege. Like, being something a white person. She's like, well, no, I don't want to get into a debate about it. And he's like, no, he's like, literally, name one thing in this country that I cannot do.
Just a little meal or
coffee. Like, it's not an argument.
He's easily.
You're right. You respect. You honor it. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Miss Shirley.
Thank you for calling. That's my hometown.
Yeah.
Southwest side. Not far from Gage Park. And then we got a job teaching in the suburbs, and that's where I crossed the line. I got my retirement. Thank God.
Yeah, we gonna save Chicago with God help.
We are.
Because he's the one orchestrating this.
Look at her chart with me.
Look at forget about that
You rise up and you say no more.
That's it. That's it, Miss Shirley. We got the fire. Yes, we got the fire, guys. So you all here. We are fighting, and we are not going to give up for Chicago and Illinois. We're doing this, guys. We are going to need all hands on deck. You see, everybody is. We're not divided. It's not about race. It's not about ethnic group. It's not about any of that. It's about America first. It's about us being. We love our city. We love our state. We love our country. We love God. And that's what it's about. It's about being, this is good versus evil. I keep saying this. This is what it is. Common sense. He said undiagnosed. It's good versus evil. This is where we at, guys. And we need all of you all. It's not a red or blue thing.
Breakfast. It was a great breakfast.
Beautiful people.
We had great speakers. Shout out to Susan Sweetie. Susan Sweetie is my godmother, and she doesn't even know it. She's my unofficial godmother. But Susan Sweetie is a legend. I want y'all to understand why Susan Sweetie is a legend.
Mm-hmm.
One of the speakers is part of the lawsuit that's in SCOTUS that they were talking about with the election fraud. Basically, they should not be able to count ballots after 14 days, which is absolutely terrible.
Yes.
But that's their lawsuit. It's going to set a precedent.
Mm-hmm.
And you really got to look out for that. So
this is what we need, guys. One day voting. That's it. You can't come in 14 days later and now you won. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to have to make this.
Cheating has gotten out of control.
We have to make this too big to read, guys. We really do in Chicago and Illinois. We must let everybody know. Don't you ever, never play with Chicagoans and Illinois again. Like, we don't play those type of games. We might look, and we might be some stiff-necked people. We might be some hard-headed people, but don't you play with us.
They got good mild sauce. Good mild sauce. You know how much money we can make off of mild sauce? We can get actually the city out of debt off of mild sauce.
Yeah, you gotta have that's that business mind right there, that entrepreneurship. That's it right here. Always thinking about that's President Trump. Always thinking about how to make money for the city, not for your pockets, but for the city. Therefore, when you make money for the city, then you can give the people back their money, because all you are as a servant, as a mayor, as a governor, anybody, your job is to be a good steward over people money. That's it.
Over money. All right. Let's see if Miss Sweeney want to say anything.
This is the Republican Party. Yeah. That's good. You should. If you have a job, you should vote Republican.
Miss Sweeney. Miss Sweeney. Would you like to say anything? It was a wrap.
Chicago flips red.
Miss Sweeney did it. It was
We
a
rock it,
great
right?
breakfast. You do this every year? How
We
long
do.
have you been doing this?
We do. Well, we've been a club since 1936.
We've been a club since 1936. We got to keep the tradition going. You
Yes,
know
we
that
do.
the last time they had a Republican mayor was in 1931 Chicago. So
There you go.
1936, this has been around.
Yes, it is.
It was great. It was perfect.
We're ready to.
It had all the bacon.
Right?
All the
Aren't we,
bacon.
Zoe?
Of course.
100%.
Freedom.
What's your thing?
On Charlie Kirk. On Charlie Kirk, we turn we flipping it around. On Charlie Kirk. We got to.
You know,
We
remember
got
I
to.
said, well, I don't know if I said it today, but we're only one generation away from losing our freedom. So we have to remember what our founding fathers gave us, a gift for Thanksgiving, right? Remember
Yes.
this. And that is that we got the Constitution.
The Constitution.
And the Constitution is what we should all agree on. And the Constitution is what gives us, protects our faith, families, and freedom.
And the
Once we
Constitution
believe that,
has no pronouns.
no
It
pronouns,
has no race.
no race,
No gender.
no.
You can't ever let
And we are equal.
And we are equal.
We are equal. Right, Zoe? Love you.
Love you too. That's my unofficial godmother. You know that, right? All right, y'all. It was a wrap. It was a beautiful breakfast. Please support the Republican Women of Park Ridge. They've been around since 1936. Longevity. And that's my goal.